that second quarter as well. So the second quarter coming to you live here at Concordia Stadium. It's a different kind of feeling here today in River Forest. It is homecoming weekend here on the Concordia Cougars Network. I'm Ryan Fahey with you here on today's call. Bit of a overcast and a cloudy day today. Temperatures feeling like fall today as well. Going to be a little bit of a chance of rain later on this afternoon. And we'll get to our matchup and get things set here for your Cougars as they welcome in the Spartans of Aurora University, a fellow Northern Athletics Collegiate Conference squad here today. But before we get to that, we'll turn it over now for our introductions and the national anthem.
We pray that you would bless all the athletes that are part of this game, that both teams would put forward their best efforts to your glory. We thank you for homecoming and for all those who have been a part and continue to be a part of Concordia-Chicago. Chicago. Be with us now this day, and I pray this in Jesus' name. Amen.
Please remain standing as we honor America, the men and women of our military, and our first responders. Our national anthem this afternoon will be sung by Concordia senior Michelle Hennig.
well-done rendition of our national anthem. So let's get you set to how these teams got to where we are here today. The Spartans from Aurora University, a conference rival of your Concordia-Chicago Cougars. They were over at Eureka College last Saturday, and they lost in a close one by the score of 31-28. As we have the honorary coin toss that's about to begin. And let's listen in for it one more time.
Mary Palmruder Cowan from the class of 1988, David Schnerstein from the class of 1981, and representing the 1962 and 63 back-to-back NCAA basketball tournament appearances, team captain Al Herman. Joining us from home, Jim Bolt from the class of 1961, and former wrestling coach Denny Moore. Please join me in honoring their contributions as outstanding student athletes.
Again, there will be some members of the Concordia-Chicago Cougars that are being inducted into the Hall of Fame here today. As you just heard, some of them that are out there for the honorary coin toss right now. But as we mentioned, Aurora coming off of a 31-28 loss at Eureka last week. And for your Cougars, they're coming off of a walloping loss, 61-28 over at Lakeland University to begin conference play. Get to dive into more of those previous matchups as we go on, as we get set for kickoff here today. Let's meet your officials for today's match. The head referee is Mike Lennis. The umpire is David Clisham. The head linesman is Peter Saul. Line judge is John Hughes. Side judge Mike Cunningham. And the field judge, and Tom Wedrick. And the back judge is Sam Banks. So we mentioned the Cougars losing 61-28 over at Lakeland University. The Cougars were led once again by their running game, though. 29 runs on the ground for the star junior running back in Lance Moise. The junior had 29 carries, 211 yards overall, 206 net, and had 4 rushing touchdowns in that loss. So he accounted for all of the scoring, essentially, for the Cougars, minus those extra points that were kicked. And mentioned through the air, we see this Concordia team like to rotate its quarterbacks. It was Jordan Sepulveda and Griffin Beaudet, the sophomore and freshman respectively. Sepulveda, the freshman, won 8 of 18, 72 yards last week, and Beaudet won 5 of 14, 34 yards and an interception. So looking to clean up the play at quarterback today are the Cougars. And meanwhile, individually for Aurora to keep an eye out for here today, their quarterback, led by sophomore Gavin Zimbelman, went 16 of 36 through the air with 302 yards and 3 touchdowns. And on the ground, it was the running back, the junior Connor Olson, 18 carries and 93 yards with a touchdown. Kicking this one away will be Zach Mirabelli, the senior from St. John, Indiana, left to right in their home, or I should say the road white uniforms, the blue helmets, and your Cougars are in their home maroon jerseys, maroon helmets, and gold pants, as they'll be going right to left here for the first 15. It's homecoming weekend, and what a better way on this fall afternoon here in River Forest, Illinois. It's the Spartans and it's the Cougars here on homecoming weekend. Both teams looking for their first conference wins of the season. And kickoff is underway, and off we go. As this one, Coley lost at the back line where Mario Coley gets it, and he's going to run to the left side and get taken down just ahead of the 10-yard line. Almost got flipped up, and it looked like the ball may have come out for a moment. We'll see who fell on top of it. They do say it's Cougars football. And we're underway here at Concordia Stadium. The head coach for your Concordia-Chicago Cougars in his first season, Mike Jusick. The assistant coach is Tim Kernan, the offensive coordinator, quarterback coach. Ron Tyner, the offensive line coach. Tanner Wilcox, the linebackers coach. Joe Jasinski, the defensive line coach. Ryan Catlin-Mark, the wide receivers coach. Jacob Vellucci, the defensive back coach. And Kyle Whitman, the running backs coach. So out there right now, Griffin Beaudet, the sophomore, to start this off today. And he's going to give it off to Moise off the fake throw. Moise to the left side outside the numbers. And he stumbles forward for a couple of early yards on that first down run. Again, we mentioned Moise in the last game at Lakeland University, 29 runs on the ground for 206 net yards. And he had the 4 rushing touchdowns. The longest on that run, there was a 42-yard touchdown run in that road game against Lakeland Kickoff conference play. There's a gain of 1, 2nd down and 9. 3 receivers out right, 1 to the left. But in the shotgun, checks his left side of the offensive line. As the snap is taken, Moise is going to get the carry once again. He gets in towards the second level, past the 20, and for a Cougars first down is the junior running back from Coral Springs, Florida. So a nice run there from Moise, the junior running back, as we mentioned. And he is on pace to eclipse 1,000 yards on the season rushing coming into play today, and surely he will get to it at some point. 3 receivers left, 1 to the right, 1st and 10 at the 25. Odette will take the snap. He looks to his left, and he's going to scramble to his right. He looks downfield, but he'll keep it himself towards the 30, and that's where he gets taken out of bounds, and a late flag comes in. Maybe a late hit to the quarterback on Aurora. We'll get the call in a moment. Bodette got a run there of about 5 on that first down run. We'll hear what the officials have to say about it in a moment. Again, Mike Lennis, the head referee today, will be making the calls throughout the afternoon. And there. So they do get the unnecessary roughness. That's on Perry Cooper, the junior defensive back from Madison, Wisconsin. So that puts the Cougars for that first down now at the 45-yard line. 2 receivers to each side, as Bodette is going to give it to Lance Moise, who takes it to midfield for another decent run there of about 5 yards to bring up 2nd down. Bodette, we mentioned in the road conference game last week, 5 of 14, 34 yards, was sacked 4 times. His longest pass was 13 yards in that 61-28 loss over at Lakeland University to begin conference play here in 2018. Moise goes out in motion. Bodette takes the snap. He looks over the middle. Pass will be incomplete. He was looking there for Corey Dooley as that one kind of fell through his hands and out. So that incomplete pass brings up a 3rd down with 13:02 to play here in this first quarter. Just underway here on homecoming weekend at Concordia University. It's supposed to be a baseball alumni game that was going to take place over on the baseball field today, but due to the inclement weather that came through the area last night, they were unable to play. But they were out tailgating in the parking garage earlier today. Got to speak with some of the baseball players earlier today on my arrival to the stadium. A little bummed they couldn't play today, but they say homecoming weekend is a great weekend unlike any other here in River Forest, as a quick pass to the left side is complete to Eric Hoff, the freshman wide receiver from Pembroke Pines, Florida. Wasn't enough for a first down, only a gain of a few off that catch, as the punting unit now will come on out for the Cougars. Speaking of the baseball team, we'll be having a great chance to talk to the head coach, Mike Stosky, later in the 3rd quarter. Going to be great to talk to him about his team's back-to-back College World Series appearances, along with some of the new additions to the coaching staff and the new look over at the baseball field. We'll get to that and a whole lot more later, as this punt will go to the near side of the numbers, as the punt there by Brett Kruger will be touched down inside the Spartans' 10-yard line. So now the Spartans will come out there offensively, led by the sophomore quarterback from Manteno, Illinois, and Gavin Zimbelman. He helped lead his team to a late 4th quarter touchdown in that 31-28 loss at Eureka last week, but they were unable to get the ball back late from Eureka, unable to force a turnover, hence them losing by a field goal. Again, Zimbelman 16-36 through the air last week, 302 yards, 3 touchdowns thrown, 1 interception, only sacked once in that game. He's got 3 receivers out to his left, 1 running back that moves to the left tip. That's Connor Olson. Keep an eye on him in the running game today, as a quick throw to the left side is caught. And this one being met in the backfield for a decent loss is the senior wide receiver, and Danny Logorado. Logorado in the game last week only had 1 catch for 24 yards in that road loss in conference play. Loss of about 5 on that one. So to bring up 2nd down and long, with 3 receivers out right, 1 to the left. Olsen now switches in motion, as Zimbelman will quickly throw to the left, and that's caught by Connor Olson. Gets outside the numbers to the far side. Gets him back to the original line of scrimmage, and it's still now 3rd down for Aurora. They come in 0-4 on the season, 0-1 in Northern Athletics Collegiate Conference play. 3rd down and 8 gain of about 7 on that catch and run. So 3 receivers line up to the right, 1 out to the left. Shotgun here for Zimbelman. He takes a snap. He's going to look and run it himself, perhaps. And he gets taken down just short of the 20-yard line, and it's 4th down for the Spartans. Looking him down there was Gustavo Alba, the sophomore. Mario Coley was also in there on the stop, and the punting unit now out for the Spartans. So the Cougars on defense force an early 3-and-out. As back deep will be Dinas Pinellas, number 15 for Concordia, and also back is number 21 Alejandro Alvarez for the Cougars at their own 45. Punting this away, Ryan Basden, the senior putter. That's a booming punt. As really having to go back, trying to get it with one arm. The ball is muffed on the punt, and the Spartans are going to fall on top of it. As Pinellas, the freshman, was backtracking it inside his own 35, reached out with the one hand. Trying to get a little cute there was the freshman, trying to return that punt. And that costs his team a chance to get the ball back for offense. So what would have been an easy 3-and-out now turns into a new set of downs for the Spartans. So they'll now have a new set at the Concordia 35-yard line. And a big mistake there from the young freshman in Pinellas. So 1st and 10, 2 receivers out left, 1 to the right. Connor Olson at the left hip of Gavin Zimbelman. Snap taken, goes there, and getting wrapped up in the backfield is Connor Olson. As helping him bring that one down for a loss was Matt Henning, the junior linebacker from Crystal Lake, Illinois. Loss of a yard, so they'll mark that as an official tackle for loss. 2nd down and 11 with under 10 minutes to play here in this first quarter of action on homecoming weekend at Concordia Stadium. Thanks for joining us here on the Concordia Cougars Network. I'm Ryan Fahey with you here on this afternoon's call. As Zimbelman's going to throw to his left. He's hit as he's thrown. Pass is caught. And this one taken down the far sideline and into red zone territory go the Spartans. As on the catch there was Colton Jewell, the junior wide receiver, 6'3", 205 pounds from Lake Villa, Illinois. So 1st down and 10. Clock will once again continue to wind with the chains being set. Ball at the 12-yard line. 2 receivers right, 1 to the left. Here is the snap as Olson is not going to get the carry as Zimbelman kept it himself. And he gets a gain of roughly 4 or 5 to bring up 2nd down. And Zimbelman is able to rush the ball. He had 4 carries for 15 yards as a gain, overall 6 net yards. So he's not afraid to keep the ball on any option plays that he calls. 2nd and 7. This one he does hand off this time to Connor Olson, who falls forward ahead of the 5-yard line. An initial spot looks like he's going to be just short of the 1st down. So it'll be 3rd down and roughly a yard to go. Looks like we have an injured Cougar down on the field as well. That's number 78, Zaquan Hood, the freshman defensive lineman, hobbling off to the sideline. Hope he'll be okay to return to action. Favoring the left leg, it appears. Does look like he's got a brace on the lower part of his left leg, right by the calf. So we'll have to keep an eye out for that if he's able to return. 3rd down and 1 now with the ball at the Cougars' 4-yard line. 2 receivers left, 1 to the right. As this one on the keep, and taking this one in are the Spartans for a first quarter touchdown. That was Halen Miller that took the snap, the freshman quarterback from Gonzales, Louisiana. And the freshman gets the Spartans on the board first, 6-0 with 8:37 to play in this first quarter. So the extra point coming up. Zach Mirabelli to kick the point after. The snap is good, the hold is good, and so is that kick. And the Aurora University Spartans on the road here at homecoming weekend at Concordia Stadium strike first and have a 7-0 lead with 8:37 to play here in this first quarter. As interesting play calling there from the coaching staff in his 5th season, Rick Ponks. His offensive coordinator and receivers coach is Egg Studman. The offensive line coach, Tyler Wellman. The assistant offensive line coaches, Mario LeBlanca. Defensive backs, Troy Shepard, along with Mike Langhurst. The outside linebackers coach, John Clark. Defensive coordinator and linebackers coach, Tim Yerson. Defensive line coach, Jason Jefferson. The quarterbacks coach, Mike Aspari. Special teams, Mike Ventry. Tight ends, Jim Boyer. And the strength and conditioning coach is Chad Trudeau. So a 4-yard touchdown run from the freshman quarterback, Halen Miller, who took the snap there in place of Gavin Zimbelman. Mirabelli now out for the kickoff here from his own 35. You got Romario Coley back deep for the Cougars. And you also have Brandon Milner, number 25. As this one, Cooley will get all the way back in his end zone. He takes the knee, and it'll be a touchback. And the Cougars offense now will have a chance to respond here, down 7-0. We mentioned the quarterback rotation that the Cougars go with. They usually have leaned on the freshman Jordan Sepulveda for a good chunk of games here so far this season, along with splitting time with Griffin Bodette. We've also seen Rob Granquist, the senior, get some time. We saw him in the last home game against Albion College. Bodette getting the start today. He's out there once again for the second drive of the quarter. 2 receivers to each side. Moise to the left hip. Now switching to the right is the running back. Quick throw to the left side. Pass is caught. That's Alejandro Alvarez getting outside the numbers. And that will be enough for a Cougars first down as they get him out of bounds at the 38-yard line. Alvarez, the freshman wide receiver from Miami, Florida. Kind of wishing perhaps he wants that Miami, Florida weather here today, as it is a cool October day here at Concordia. Definitely feeling like fall in the air at River Forest this afternoon for homecoming. 3 receivers out right, 1 to the left. Play clock down to 7. As the snap from Bodette, he's going to keep throw to his left. That's Alvarez again, and the pass is caught. Looks like he's out just short of the 40 for a gain of a few. They officially marked him out on that original catch from a play ago at the 35. So with this one, he gets it to the 39 for a gain of 4 for 2nd and 6. And also a new announcement today as well on behalf of Concordia University. They are unveiling a new logo, and if you want to go check out the new look, you can go to CUCougars.com. As this ball to the far side is incomplete, as Bodette was looking for Pinellas on the far side, and it'll bring up 3rd down. It's the first new changing of the logo since 1983, so this is 35 years in the making. Again, check it all out at CUCougars.com for more information. It is a pretty spiffy new look that the Cougars are going to sport going forward. 3rd down and 6. Under 8 minutes to play here in this first quarter of action. Again, we'll also talk to the head baseball coach and Mike Stosky. The head baseball coach of the Cougars is Bodette. On 3rd down is going to slide forward for a gain of a couple. He's going to be short of the first down. We'll be talking to Stosky in the 3rd quarter of action, as the special teams unit will come out. His team having back-to-back College World Series appearances. Also mentioned about his star player and Kevin Kppen, the Conference Man of the Year, along with his new staff that he's bringing in for 2019. And some new looks that are going to be around Concordia over across the way as well. So we'll bring that up and a whole lot more coming up in the 3rd quarter of action. As on this 4th down, a punt to the far side. And this one, the Spartans will not call for a fair catch, as getting in towards the 2nd level past midfield. That's Keon Adams, number 6. Keon Adams, the junior from Elgin, Illinois, gives the Spartans now an offensive drive that will start in Cougars territory. They knocked him out of bounds at the 47-yard line on the Concordia side. So the Spartans will trot back out. They're up by a touchdown with 6:51 to play here in the opening quarter. Gavin Zimbelman back out there. The freshman quarterback, Halen Miller, was on the snap there on that play that got them the 4-yard touchdown run. Took the direct snap and ran it in himself. As Zimbelman will throw to the right side. Pass is caught for a first down and more, as getting inside the 30-yard line is Emilio Starks. Starks, the sophomore from Lake Station, Indiana, puts the Spartans at the 25-yard line. Gain of 22 on the catch and run. 2 receivers to each side. Ball to the near right hash. Zimmelman takes a snap as Connor Olson's going to get the carry up the middle and will get taken down just ahead of the 20-yard line. Bringing him down there for Concordia was Matt Henning, the junior linebacker. Stands at 6 feet, 205 pounds. It was a gain of 5 on the run, 2nd and 5 from the 20, as we approach 6 minutes to play here in the opening quarter on homecoming weekend. 2 receivers again each side. Olsen at the left hip of Zimbelman. The snap, and he's going to keep it. He pump fakes, throws again. This one caught, and almost getting upended there was Starks. And it's a 1st and goal for the Spartans. So it's 1st and goal from the 6-yard line. I've yet to get the ball, I think, spotted back out there officially. And I think that's, well, way down. Now we're good. So 1st and goal for Aurora here on the road, up 7-0. 3 receivers right, as keeping it is Zimbelman himself, and he's going to find a wide open hole up the middle. And Gavin Zimbelman rushes in for a 7-yard touchdown. So 2 different quarterbacks with 2 touchdown runs here in this first quarter. 13-0, Aurora leads. Extra point coming up. Mirabelli to kick the point after attempt. Cal Everett, the sophomore, will hold. And the kick is up, and it is good. So the visitors up by 2 scores, 14-0 on homecoming weekend for the Cougars with 5:35 to play here in the first quarter. Cougars offense going to need some work to be done once they get the ball back. Bodette, 3 of 4 today, 17 yards. Hasn't really looked downfield that much for the ball, and when he has, it's been a couple of drops by his receivers. You've got Alvarez with 2 catches for 14 of those yards. Eric Hoff has 1 catch for 3 yards. And in the running game, nothing doing so far for Lance Moise, who on a net yardage at the moment is minus 18 off of 3 runs so far here through this first quarter of action. And if you look at it on the side for the visiting Spartans, Zimmelman very efficient here early on, 5 of 5 for 65 yards. Olsen on the ground has 3 carries for 7 net yards overall. So work needing to be done on the Cougar side as the kickoff from Mirabelli, and taking a knee in the end zone, Romario Coley, and it'll be a touchback. So we'll see the Cougars out there yet again. Can we look like we'll see? We'd like to think at one point Jordan Sepulveda, who's played in every game so far here this season, again splitting time with Griffin Bodette, with Bodette getting the start today. Also mentioned we've seen Rob Granquist, the senior, get some time in as well. It's a Ferris wheel of a quarterback rotation we get to see at times here for Concordia. Never to say it's a bad thing by any means. Trying to just switch the looks up for the Cougars. 3 receivers out left, 1 to the right, as Moise is going to get the carry as he looks for some blockers up ahead as he gets ahead of the 20 at the line of scrimmage. 25 rather, I should say, for a gain of a couple for 2nd down. Mentioned Lance Moise in the last game that they lost 61-28 at Lakeland. He had 4 rushing touchdowns in the losing effort. 2 receivers each side now for Concordia. 3 guys rushing as Bodette keeps it. He jukes around 1 defender and slides ahead just short of the 35-yard line. They mark him down as he gave himself up right at the 32 to bring up 3rd and manageable. Again, all about protecting the quarterback once he slides to give it up. 3rd down and 2 at the 37. Crowd getting into it here at Concordia Stadium. 3 receivers right, 1 to the left. As Moise on this 3rd and 2 is going to get to the far side. He's got a first down and a whole lot more. Past midfield is the junior, staying on his feet inside to the 25-yard line. Best run of the day for the junior from Coral Springs, Florida. And a first down for Concordia in Spartans territory. A well-designed run and great patience from Lance Moise. 1st and 10 with the ball at the 24. 2 receivers each side, ball to the far hash. As Moise is going to get the ball yet again, he's going to go to his left side now, try to get the edge, but he is taken down in the backfield. As bringing him down for the Spartans is number 99, Curtis Cheyenne, the senior lineman from Aurora, Illinois, product of Waubonsie Valley High School, growing up not too far from Aurora University itself. That was a loss there of about 5. So 2nd and 15. So we have that big run from Moise, and then he loses 5 on the very next play. 3 receivers out right, 1 to the left. And that 1 lone out to the left is Alejandro Alvarez. Moise at the left hip of Griffin Bodette getting the start today, the sophomore quarterback. Bodette takes the snap. He's going to throw to his left for a pitch and catch for Moise, but he is met right by the line of scrimmage. Nothing doing there for Concordia. As that one yet again was Curtis Cheyenne. Johnny on the spot. And it's 3rd down and long for the Cougars. Gain of nothing off the quick screen toss there to Moise. As we now have under 3 minutes to play in the opening quarter. 14-0 Spartans. As they have the early lead on the road. 3 receivers out right as Bodette steps up. He gets out of trouble as he's going to run to his right. And he's going to keep it with the legs as he gets ahead of the 30, close to the 25. As chasing him down was the junior linebacker, number 27, Austin Warich. The 6-foot linebacker forces the 4th down. And it looks like the offense is going to stay out there on this 4th down. There was a gain of about 3 on that run from Bodette. Again, wind coming out of the northwest, so not really favoring the Cougars here if they were to go for a field goal. Here they go for it on 4th and 12. 2 receivers each side. Bodette over the middle. Pass is caught. And getting the first down on a big conversion is Corey Dooley. What a gutsy throw. And not the openest of windows, I should say, was Bodette, as Cooley had to get through some traffic to slide for that catch. So 1st and 10 inside the 15 as Moise is going to get the carry. Darts around a couple defenders, spins his way in towards the end zone for a Cougars touchdown. 19 yards to the house for the junior linebacker. And the Cougars get on the board here with 1:49 to go in the first quarter. And it looks like we also have an injured Spartan out there on the field as well, as that is number 90, Lazarick Johnson, the sophomore defensive lineman from DeKalb. As he is slow to get up after the touchdown run of Lance Moise, who just was shredding off tacklers, getting into the end zone for Concordia. So 14-6 is our current score. The point after attempt coming up. Yeah, mentioning some of the Hall of Fame inductees that you'll be hearing throughout the course of the afternoon today. Eric Boucher will be inducted in from the class of 1993, a baseball prodigy here at Concordia. Mary Palmeruta-Corn from the class of 1988 for her volleyball contributions. From the class of the 62 and 63, men's basketball teams are being honored today as well. Along with Dave Schnurstein, who was a football and track star from the class of 1981, are your Hall of Fame inductees here today. So here comes the point after attempt. Orlando Hayes, the junior kicker from Hialeah, Florida. Bodette to have the hold. The starting quarterback today, a little bit of a lower snap as this one is more of a line drive, and through the uprights and good is Orlando Hayes, and it's now 14-7. Cougars now trailing only by a touchdown. Here as we get into the final stages of quarter number 1. Moise on the day, 7 carries, 32 yards and a touchdown, 32 net yards. Bodette through the air 4 or 5 with 17 yards. And in terms of the receiving category, nothing much that it's eye-popping on the stats here through one quarter. Dooley, 1 catch for 16 yards. Alvarez, 2 catches for 14, and Hoff, 1 catch for 3. And Lance Moise has 1 catch, but officially no yards, as it was a tackle right at the line of scrimmage. So he's out to kick this one away from his own 35. You got back deep, you have Sean Arena, number 26, and Hunter Stedman for the Spartans, as they have that listed on their depth chart here for today. As this one, and actually going back and letting this one go, as coming in there was number 81 in Kai Tomaszewski, the junior wide receiver from Princeton, Illinois. As this one will go out, and this is going to put the Spartans, after giving up that touchdown run to Lance Moise, in decent field position. So this will put the ball at the 35-yard line for the Spartans. As Zimbelman will be back out there to lead the Spartans attack. Spartans will line up with 3 wide receivers to the left, no one out to the right. Olsen at the left hip of Zimbelman. Zimbelman has a touchdown run today for 7 yards. It's the second rushing touchdown of the day today for Aurora so far. He's going to fake the handoff to Olsen. He's going to run it himself, but he's not going to get anywhere with it. As bringing him down and swallowing him up was Randall Clays, a sophomore from Mill City, Oregon. As Zimbelman got back to the original line of scrimmage for second down. He's now under 90 seconds to play in the opening quarter. Same formation yet again. Zimbelman with the snap. He's going to toss to his left, and that's Olsen with the catch. And Olsen to the far side is going to lunge forward for a Spartans first down. Gets ahead of the 45 was Connor Olsen. Although it looks like we did have a penalty flag come out on the far side of the field back at the line of scrimmage. And Concordia is pointing that this one is going to be against Aurora. As we're going to get the call in a moment. As it'll be a holding call against Aurora, so that'll back them up. So back to the 25-yard line, the ball will be spotted. So negate that first down catch and run from Connor Olsen. Second down and 20 with 1 minute to go. 2 receivers right, as this one will be Jacobs. once again, or I should say Connor Olson, excuse me. Connor Olson on the catch and bringing him down there for Concordia, and lowering the boom was Ryan Murray, the sophomore from Plainfield, Illinois, number 90 in the maroon jersey. Not much of a gain on that one for Olson to bring up 3rd down and long. They need to get to the Concordia, or I should say the Spartans 45 to convert, as we have under 30 seconds on the game clock, 15 on the play clock. Couple back switch in motion. Tyron Bailey, and we get a whistle and a timeout called by the Spartans. That's their first timeout of the half. They've got 2 remaining. The Cougars still have all 3 of theirs. 14-7 our score. Thanks for joining us here on the Concordia Cougars Network. I'm Ryan Fahey with you here on homecoming Saturday here at Concordia Stadium on this October 6th with the fall-like weather in the air, overcast skies today. Bit of a breeze out of the northwest direction. Not to say it's a big considerable factor here so far today, but it could affect the kicking game if any attempts for field goals, maybe 25 yards or longer, were to be in play. Jam-packed crowd today for homecoming. And also mentioning, if you want to go to CUCougars.com, you can check out the new logo that's being unveiled. It's the first change of the logo since 1983. It is pretty spiffy looking, if I say so myself. It is quite the nice look for Concordia here at River Forest, so go check it out, CUCougars.com. 2 receivers left, 1 to the right. As on this 3rd down, Zimmelman is going to throw to his right. Pass is caught by Bailey, and he is ripped up for nothing there as the Cougars sniff that one out. Abdul Halim Ajibola, number 95, the freshman defensive lineman from Lockport, Illinois, makes sure that gains nothing. And it brings up 4th down, and that will be the end of the first quarter of play. As today is also the birthday of the Cougar, Charlie. As he's getting some recognition here today. He's been banging the drum over to our right of the booth here as well, out in the stands. So good to see them being honored today as well. Let's listen in for a little bit too.
Today we welcome home some of the more than 30 students that portrayed Charlie T. Cougar over the past 55 years. Please share your Cougar spirit with a round of applause. And remember to check in with the maroon and gold tent to pick up your birthday party favor and enjoy a cupcake now through the 3rd quarter.
Sugar show!
Pretty cool stuff happening here on homecoming weekend here in River Forest, Illinois. Thanks for joining us here on this Saturday afternoon here on the Concordia Cougars Network. I'm Ryan Fahey with you here on the calls. We're about to begin the 2nd quarter of action. We're going to be switching sides of the field here, so Aurora will be going right to left in the road white uniforms with the blue helmets, and your Cougars will be going left to right on your screen in the home maroon jerseys, gold pants, and maroon helmets. Out to punt this one is Ryan Baz, the number 46. As this punt doesn't get the greatest of distance, takes a Cougars bounce. As this one, the Cougars will start their first 2nd quarter drive at the Aurora 47-yard line. So we'll see what quarterback comes on out for Concordia. As Bodette will start the 2nd quarter. Again, wouldn't be surprised if we see Zeppelveda at some point today. Samaj James out there, the freshman wide receiver from Lakeland, Florida. So 1st and 10 from the 47 as the freshman in James is going to get the run. Gain of a few there to bring up 2nd down. And Lance Moe's not out there at the moment. Looks like he may be getting a little bit of the breather. I'm looking for him on the sideline. Don't appear to see him out there with the 11 Cougars at the moment. As penalty flag comes out as James trying to switch sides of the field, hoping to get some blockers. He gets a stiff arm past the 45. He gets taken out. But we got to see what the penalty flag will be. It was right at the start of the snap. As the far side judge in Mike Cunningham trots his way out to the head referee in Mike Lennis. And it's going to be offsides on the Spartans. Just underway here for the second quarter. As the call of offsides has been made. They'll still bring up second down. They're off the 5-yard penalty. So second and roughly a yard to go. Ball now at the Spartans' 39-yard line. Three receivers lined up to the left, one to the right. Again, the freshman Samaj James in at running back as Bodette takes a pump fake. He's going to air it out downfield. He's looking for Dooley, and this one overthrown. Not by much, though. Bodette looking for Dooley down the sideline. He had a step beat on his man. As in coverage there was Devon Whitaker, the junior defensive back from Gary, Indiana. Brings up 4th and 1. Offense staying out there. So 3rd down and 1. I got ahead of myself there on that call a moment ago. As James is going to get the carry to the right side. James for a first down. Hurdles a defender. Put that on the highlight tape. And I apologize to Sean Reyna. You're on the other side of a hurdle. What a jump. What a hurdle from the freshman Samaj James. 5'8", 180 pounds from Lakeland, Florida. Wonder what his high jump is. To get a stat on that later as James will get the carry ahead of the 25. He runs for a nice gain off that first down to bring up second and manageable. But what a hurdle. Samaj James putting his highlight tape ready and in full force here on homecoming weekend. As Bodette will give it to James yet again, who takes it inside the 15 towards the 10 for a first down. And it'll be 1st and goal for the Cougars at the 10. So a chance here to try and even the score early on in this second quarter for Concordia. And Lamaz James staying in at running back. 12:20 to go in the first half as James, as the fake throw goes to Hoff. Stutters are on a defender. Hoff getting the edge, diving for the pylon. And he's going to be out just short of it, though, as he gets inside the 5. A nice spot there by the line judge and John Hughes, seeing where the foot went out of bounds. They've got him marked at the 3-yard line. So 2nd and goal. Clock will continue to wind. Three receivers out to the right. James at the right hip of Bodette. And James is going to try to get to the outside edge on the left side. He is wrapped up and swallowed in the backfield. As bringing him down there in the back end of that, leading the way was Cole Sin, the junior linebacker from Hayworth, Illinois. Makes it 3rd and goal. That was a loss of about 4 or 5. They've got the ball at the 6, actually, so a loss of only 3. So 3rd and goal at the 6. 3 receivers out right, 1 to the left. James to the left hip of Griffin Bodette. The snap, the throw, and in tight coverage, looking for Corey Dooley. It's 4th and goal, and the kicking unit will go on out for the Cougars. Bodette thrown into a tight window. So out to kick this field goal, a short one, is Orlando Hayes. Bodette to hold. And on the kick. We mentioned Hayes, the snap, the hold, and the kick is up, and it is good. So Hayes with his first field goal of the afternoon being a successful one. And we now stand at 14-10 with 11:11 to play here in this second quarter. Again, thanks for joining us here on homecoming weekend here at Concordia Stadium. I'm Ryan Fay with you on the Concordia Cougars Network. Again, later in the third quarter, we're going to have a chance to speak to baseball head coach Mike Stosky and have a chat with him here on Alumni Day for homecoming. Talk about the back-to-back World Series appearances that he's helped get his team to. I was able to see some of the baseball alums out at the parking garage over off Bonnie Bray earlier this morning, as their alumni game unfortunately got weathered out. It hasn't really rained this morning, but due to the storms that hit the area last night, the field was unable to be played on, so the team is having some fun out in the parking garage from the distance, watching this game unfold. So Hayes now out to kick this one away. Down by 4 are the Cougars, trying to climb their way back into this as they gave up 2 rushing touchdowns back in the first quarter. As this one on the run is number 29 in Humberto Pierre-Louis as he gets outside the numbers towards the 30. And this is where the Spartans will take over at, just ahead of it. So chance here for the Cougars defense to make a stop and try to get the ball back. You want to have your main goal be a win here on homecoming weekend. When a lot of the former players of not just football but other sports come on out, along with just student body alumni of the university. 1st and 10 at the 31 for Zimbelman. He's going to fake it as the toss over the middle is caught, as that is number 9 in Colton Jewell, the junior, gets to the 44 with forward progress for a Spartans first down. A 13-yard catch off that first down throw. Ball at the 44. New set of downs here for the Spartans. Two receivers out left, one to the right. Zimbelman will fake the handoff to Olsen. Pass is caught and taken in the Cougars territory for a first down and more is Danny Logorado. Logorado didn't have much action, saw his way against Eureka last week, but is getting some targets here this afternoon. Only recorded 1 catch in that 3-point loss last week. 2 receivers out left, 1 to the right, Zimbelman in the shotgun, as Olsen's going to get the carry on first down and spins his way ahead of the 30 for a second down. That'll be forthcoming. He gets taken down at the 28. Helping him bring him down there for Concordia was number 57 and Jason Duran Jr., the sophomore from Portage, Indiana. Gain of roughly 5 on that one. Man in motion and taking it on the carry is Logorado. He gets out to the edge towards the 15-yard line for another Spartans first down. So Danny Logorado, the senior, who, as I aforementioned, only had 1 catch. It was for 24 yards. Is doing a lot better here today in terms of the action he has seen. For that one, he had 2 catches, 23 yards. As this one here on the first down is a run to the left side for Connor Olsen for a gain of 5. As the Spartans are charging into Cougars territory quickly. We approach 9 minutes to play here in the first half, 14-10. 3 receivers out to the right now, 4 if you include Olsen. 1 receiver out to the left, that's Colton Jewell. Zimbelman is going to throw to Jewell, is incomplete on the pass, and a penalty flag comes out. As it looks like they're going to get an interference call on Kelly Christian, the junior defensive back from McDonough, Georgia. Looks like they're going to get McDonough on a little bit of a push from behind. Get the call here in a moment. And that is what the call is going to be. So that'll make it an automatic 1st and goal here for Aurora. It'll be 1st and goal at the 4-yard line. It was a spot foul with 8:52 to play in this first half. 2 receivers out right. 1 man now comes in motion from that side as Zimbelman's going to keep himself, or I should say rather the freshman Miller will keep it. Freshman Halen Miller, the quarterback from Gonzales, Louisiana, on the keep. A penalty flag came out. He got nowhere on that run attempt. And we'll see what the flag is. And that's going to go against Aurora, and that'll back them up. Couple personnel changes as the freshman Miller will come on out. And Zimbelman, the main quarterback, the sophomore, will take the helm for the Spartans. Three receivers out right, no one to the left. Olsen at the right hip of Zimbelman. He takes the snap. He's going to throw to the far corner, and the pass is caught. And it is another Spartans touchdown. And for a 13-yard catch for Aurora, that's the sophomore wide receiver in, or I should say Emilio Starks on the catch. Emilio Starks with the 13-yard touchdown catch. Makes it 20-0 for the visiting Spartans with the extra point. Mirabelli, as this one is up, and it is good. Makes it 21-10. And for this Cougars team, they've really had a lot of trouble in second quarters of games as of late. If you look back to the game against Lakeland last week, they allowed 27 points in that second quarter. They scored 14 of their own, but you even go back to the game against Albion College in our last home game, they had thrown, or they should say they had allowed multiple scores against Albion that kind of forced the hand of the Cougars to try to rally from behind in the second half, and they dug too much of a hole to try to get themselves out of. And you don't want that happening here against this Spartans team and Zimbelman, who can be deadly with the throwing ability that he's got. And if you're Concordia, you want to get Moise some more successful touches on the ground. As Concordia through the air hasn't been that successful so far here today. So the special teams unit's back out there. Mirabelli to kick this one end to end. Coley back deep for the Cougars. Here's Mirabelli with the kick from his own 35. Coley's going to take this from about his own 3. Romario Coley past the 30. Romario Coley to the 35, past the 40 to the 45 he goes. And a nice return from the sophomore from Miramar, Florida. So good field position for the Cougars. And Bodette will trot back out there once again. And the linebacker here, Samaj James, who we talked about Moise getting some great touches early on in this game. He had a big run back in the first quarter. Lamaj James has gotten the touches at the running back spot as Beaudet's going to keep this one himself, and he stumbles ahead to the 50. And they'll mark him at the Aurora 49-yard line for second down. Gain of 6 on the run there from the sophomore quarterback. 2 receivers each side with now under 8 minutes to play here in the first half. Throw to the right side is dropped as that pass was intended for Dinas Pinellas, number 15, the freshman. The second time we've seen him drop a pass today. He also muffed a punt back in the first quarter that gave Aurora the first running touchdown of the game from the freshman Halen Miller that took it in from 5 yards out. 3rd down and 4 at the 49-yard line. 3 receivers out right, 1 to the left. 1 man in the backfield, that's James, and he is going to keep it. Going to go to the far side, or I should say near side, to the numbers. Trying to get the edge, but he is not going to get there. As helping bringing him down for the Spartans was number 90 in Lazariak Johnson. There's a gain of 2 on the run. Offense staying out there. Fourth and 2. Need to get to the 45 to convert. Pivotal 4th down to convert here. Down by 11 points are the Cougars. And James trying to get to the outside, and he is not going to get it. He wanted to go to the left, and he didn't get enough blocks on the edge. And the Spartans will take over on downs. Momentum on the visitor side here with 7:01 to play in the first half. So Zimbelman will trot back out there with the Spartans up by 11. We'll have 2 receivers out right, 1 to the left. Olsen at the left hip. Man comes in motion. As Zimbelman's going to drop back, throw to his right. Pass is caught by Olsen for a first down and more down the far sideline in towards the 30-yard line. And once again, the Spartans will be cooking, but this one, a flag comes in. And this one looks like it's coming back. And it's going to be a hold against Aurora. So the Spartans will have that catch and run from Connor Olsen come on back, as what looked like they were going to get a first down in Cougars territory as they back themselves deeper into their end. As this one now with first down and 20 back at the 37-yard line. 2 receivers out left, 1 to the right, 2 men in the backfield with Zimbelman. And the run here for Olsen. Olsen to the left side past the 40, and that's all he'll get. As bringing him down was Romario Coley. So 2nd and roughly 16 off the 4-yard run. 2 receivers out right, 1 to the left. Concordia rushes 4 as Zimbelman will get this one off to Olsen to the far side. Connor Olsen will stumble ahead towards midfield and brings up a manageable 3rd down for Aurora. Couple personnel changes on the defensive side for Concordia. So 3rd down and 8. They need to get to the Cougars 44-yard, I should say 43 to convert. Two backs in the backfield. You've got Bailey and Olsen. Two receivers out left, one to the right. As Immelman takes a snap, he's going to throw over the middle and almost intercepted. As that one over the hands of Isaiah Alvarez. Not sure if he thought the ball was going to come his way or not. He kind of had a later reaction to it. Nevertheless, though, pass falls incomplete for fourth down. And the special teams units will come on out. Now Robert Beragon back deep, number 8. And you'll also have Alejandro Alvarez to receive the punt, perhaps. And out to punt this one away is number 46, Ryan Basden. I should say, rather, that's going to be Hayden Miller taking the punt. Hayden Miller, the freshman, with the low punt, and it takes a Spartans bounce inside the 10-yard line. And that is where the Cougars will take the ball over at. Roughly 5 minutes to play here of this first half. 21-10 for the visiting Aurora University Spartans over your Concordia Cougars here in this Northern Athletics Collegiate Conference matchup. It's the second week of conference play here in 2018. Cougars here today beginning the first of a 2-game homestand. They welcome Eureka College next Saturday for a 1 o'clock kickoff. And today a little bit of a later kickoff at 2:15 for homecoming festivities, as this pass is caught over the middle. And for a first down and getting taken down inside towards the 30 is Corey Dooley. And the referees coming together. There is a flag back at the 13-yard line. We'll get the call in a moment, but this one appears to be heading back. Get the call from referee Mike Lennis. And actually, they're going to pick up the flag. So no penalty on the play. It'll be a first down for Concordia. So first down now at the 30. So first and 10 from the 30 with 4:48 to go as this one, Dooley again. Past midfield, first down Cougars again. This Bodette to Dooley pass then catch seems to be working here as we get into the later stages of this first half. Ball now in Spartans territory at the 46. James with the carry, spins ahead of the 45 for a gain of a few for second down. Again, we have yet to see Lance Moise here for the second quarter. Again, not sure if it's injury related or not. Didn't see him come out for any specific injury. We'll try to get an update for you on that a little bit later. Once he does return, as this one is caught by Eric Hoff to the left side. And Eric Hoff stumbles over a defender, and it's a Concordia first down. So the Cougars with a new set of downs at the 34 as Bodette will throw to Hoff. He gets a couple blocks to the outside, and there he goes into the 20-yard line. Passing game of the Cougars starting to pick itself up a little bit here. Down by 11 with 3:49 to play in the first half. Ball to the near right hash, 2 receivers to each side. James to the left hip of Bodette. Quick throw to the right, that's Dooley again. And he's not going to get much on this one, as the blocks ahead didn't get him very much. As helping stop that one for Aurora was number 26, Sean Reyna, who was on the wrong end of a hurdle from Samaj James earlier in the first half. Now 3 receivers left, 1 to the right. Tempo picking up here for the Cougars offense. We approach 3 minutes to play here in the first quarter, or I should say first half, as Bodette over the middle. Dooley, touchdown, Cougars! 19 yards, and now they're actually going to say incomplete. The side judge initially had a touchdown, but the back judge had a better angle, and they're saying Dooley did not complete the catch. So it'll bring up 3rd down as the crowd not favoring of that call. 3rd down and 9. Cougars working quickly here off of the incompletion. That was Casey Kernick on the breakup. So 3rd and 9. Bodette being chased to the right side, and he goes nowhere and is taken down for a big loss. Reggie Ferguson with the big sack. And it brings up 4th down for Concordia. And it went from looking like a touchdown for Dooley that was broken up. Then a 3rd down sack makes it 4th and long. And it'll be a punt coming up for the Cougars. Brent Kruger will punt this one away, and a timeout's been called on the field. And I believe that timeout was called by the Spartans with 2:24 to play in this first half. 21-10 our score. The Spartans up by 11 here in the opening first half of action. Again, thanks for joining us here on the Concordia Cougars Network. I'm Ryan Fay with you here on the call today. Homecoming weekend here in River Forest. Again, in the second half and the third quarter, we'll be joined by Mike Stosky, the head baseball coach of your Concordia Cougars. Get to chat with him here today on Homecoming. That's going to be a fun chat we're going to have, as he was out there with some of his former players out in the garage off of Bonnie Bray. Got to see a couple of the players before the game here today as well. Got to speak with them on Alumni Day. They didn't even fortunately get to play the alumni game that they wanted to earlier this morning due to the weather that inhabited the field. It was unplayable, so they were out having a good time in the parking garage and having that spill over here in the Concordia Stadium today. So the punt here from Kruger. Ball at the 32-yard line. Kruger just going to try to pin these Spartans deep and not allow this to be a touchback. A soft kick to the right side and a decent punt inside the 10. We'll see where they mark it, and they're going to mark it right at about the 10. So a decent punt there from Kruger. So with one timeout, Gavin Zimbelman they'll need to go 90 yards, the Spartans, if they want to get another score for a touchdown or try to get to field goal range. And again, make sure you stick around for halftime. We'll be seeing some of the Hall of Famers that are being inducted here today. I want to get to hear some of the great sights and sounds of Concordia Stadium, as on this first down, it's Olsen on the run, who's ahead towards the 15-yard line, is just short of it. Gain of about 4 on the run for 2nd and 6. Not much of a quick tempo being shown here from Aurora with the 11-point lead. Again, the defense for Concordia much improved here today based on the second quarter. If you want to compare those two second quarters from today and last week at Lakeland, where they allowed 27 points in that second quarter in that 61-28 loss, as Olsen breaks contain for a moment to the 25 for a Spartans first down. I mentioned they allowed 27 points against Lakeland in the second quarter on the road. Ball here at the 25-yard line. First and 10 with 1:10 to play. As Zimbelman's going to keep it himself, and that was not the smartest of ideas, as sniffing him out on the defensive side was Andreas Mena, number 92. As that is a loss of 5 for second down. And a timeout called by Concordia. That's their first timeout. 2 remaining for them. 1 still remaining for the visiting Aurora University Spartans. So far here today, if we look at the stats so far, an efficient day for the Spartans quarterback and Gavin Zimbelman. He's 11 of 12 with 124 yards. In the receiving game, Emilio Starks, 3 catches, 48 yards, and a touchdown. 2 rushing touchdowns today from 2 different quarterbacks. You had Zimbelman with a 7-yard touchdown run and Halen Miller with a 5-yard touchdown run. And that 5-yard touchdown was because of a muff punt from the freshman Dinas Pinellas, who tried to catch a punt with one hand, and it didn't work out in his favor. A young mistake there from the freshman. So we come back in off the timeout with just over a minute to play in the first half. 21-10 Spartans. 2 receivers out right, 1 to the left. 1 man in the backfield, that's Tyran Bailey. And Bailey's going to get the run here on the second and long, and he lunges forward towards the 25. And a timeout has been called. And it looks like the Cougars have used their second timeout. And they do. So now each team with 1 timeout remaining. And as the Cougars want to try to get the ball back here with limited time and try to get a score in before we go to the half. So it'll be 3rd and long here coming up. Again, Concordia started with the ball, so the Spartans will get the ball back to start the second half. In terms of the team stats from each side, nothing that is that eye-popping in terms of how much it is on one side of it. Although 1 fumble from Concordia has not helped. That was the muff punt. But here we come here now on 3rd and 10. Ball back at the 25-yard line, the original line of scrimmage here. 2 receivers out right, 1 to the left. Bailey at the left hip of Zimbelman. Man moves in motion. As this one, Zimbelman's going to keep himself. He runs forward to the 30. And another timeout called by Concordia. So that brings up 4th down off of a 5-yard run from the sophomore quarterback, Gavin Zimbelman. Officially, they marked that as a run of 6 yards. So it'll bring up 4th down and 4. 54 seconds remain on the clock here in the first half. Still 21-10 in favor of the visiting Spartans, who on the season are 0-4, 0-1 in conference play, while your Cougars 1-3 overall and 0-1 in conference play. So far, your leaders at the top of the conference are Concordia, Wisconsin, and Eureka, who are 1-0 respectively. Eureka unbeaten on the season at 4-0. Concordia, Wisconsin at 3-1. And after that, it's a bit of a toss-up. Lakeland and Wisconsin Lutheran are also 1-0 in conference play, but they have overall records of 1-3, along with Concordia-Chicago and Rockford. So 4 teams at the 1-3 spot overall. 2 teams at 0-4. That is Aurora, who you're seeing here today, and Benedictine University. So the punting unit on out. As this punt, a high one to the far side. Inside the 30, it is caught. As that is Robert Beragon, who gets out ahead of the 35-yard line on his side of the field. And with 45 seconds left and no timeouts, Cougars are going to try to get a quick score here before we go to the half. So Bodette back out there. So the ball at the 37. They got to work quickly here with no timeouts. 45 seconds, down by 11. Two receivers each side. James at the right hip of Bodette, who takes the snap. He's going to fire over the middle for Dooley, and it is incomplete. Pass was a hair behind Dooley, but that one should have been probably caught. Brings up a second down. Clock now at 40 seconds. The receivers out right, one to the left. James now to the left hip of Bodette. Snap to Bodette. He steps up. He is going to run up the middle. He sees a lane and looks to come to the near side, out to the numbers, and to the 50-yard line. He gets out of bounds. Clock stops at 31 seconds and a first down for Concordia. So a Cougars first down and a wise play from Bodette to get out of bounds. Ball right at the 50. Two receivers out left, one to the right. As Bodette faces pressure, will scramble to his right. Flag comes out, he throws it away. And this one may back up the Cougars a bit. And it's in holding against the Cougars. So that will back up the home team in the maroon jersey with the gold pants and maroon helmets. Still will be a first down, but more yards to work with here for Concordia. It's off of a nice run there from Bodette. Essentially comes back that following play because of that hold. First and 10, or I should say first and 20, as Bodette steps up. He's going to throw, and it is caught ahead of the 50-yard line as Pinellas. He stayed in bounds, so the clock's going to continue to wind. Concordia trying to rush up to the line quickly. Two receivers left, one right. They don't try to spike the ball. They throw to the right side. It is caught for Dooley for a moment, then it's dropped incomplete. 4 seconds on the clock, so we have to imagine this being the final play of the half coming. There's about 4 defensive backs right around the 30-yard line for Aurora. They're trying to avoid the deep ball here. 3 receivers left, 1 right. James at the right hip of Bodette. As here's the final play of the first half. Pass over the middle is caught. Looking like a little lateral game, as this one on the initial catch there was Eric Koff. He tossed it off to Corey Dooley. He got into Spartans territory, but that's all he got out of it. And that does it for our first half of play here from Concordia Stadium. Still plenty of time. 21-10, Spartans have the lead. They'll get the ball for the second half start. But this offense of the Concordia side has shown signs of life. And we'll see if that bleeds over into the second half. Time for our halftime break here in the booth. When we come back, we'll get you reset from the first half stats and get you set for second half action and a whole lot more on homecoming weekend here at Concordia Stadium. Spartans lead at 21-10. We'll be back in a bit here on the Concordia Cougars Network.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a lot to get to at halftime, so let's begin. We would like to begin today's homecoming halftime by recognizing our top student athlete award winners from last year, our NCAA award winners, and our All-Americans. Concordia-Chicago had the distinction of the conference's Man and Woman of the Year winners, both of whom went on to compete for the national honor. Kppen led the Cougar baseball team to its second consecutive World Series appearance. He was a four-time Nat Scholar athlete and a recipient of the NCAA Elite 90 Award at the 2017 World Series. Kppen was the president of Concordia's CUC chapter. He was involved with the Title IX Task Force and the One Concordia Committee, and was active with the Concordia Business Club as a member of the Multi-Achievers Circle. We want to recognize Chelsea Wilson, who could not be with us this afternoon. Chelsea was the conference's Woman of the Year, who enjoyed the finest of her 4 years as a track athlete in 2018. She was an All-American as part of the Cougars 4x400 meter relay team, the conference champion in the 100-meter dash, as well as both of the relays, and was named the Women's Track Athlete of the Meet. Off the field, she worked 4 jobs simultaneously, volunteered at Feed by Starving Children and the Senior Center, and much more that was very representative of her winning the 2017 Northwestern Mutual Leadership Award. The track and field team sent 6 women to the division to the Outdoor Nationals in May. Jessica Wilson qualified in the hammer throw after smashing the previous school record at North Central, and she went on to finish 20th nationally. Crystal Holden was a member of the conference-winning 4x100 relay team, and they competed at the Nationals but were denied a place in the finals by a stroke of bad luck in the preliminaries. 4 of them came home with All-American honors. Along with Chelsea Wilson, senior Courtney Lofink and freshman Kayla Armstrong and Simone Wilson made up the 4x400 relay team that finished 6th place with a time of 3 minutes 56.29 seconds, setting a school and conference record. In addition, Simone Wilson brought home a second All-American honor with a 4th place finishing time of 1 minute 0.76 seconds in the 400-meter hurdles, setting school and conference records as well. In softball, Melissa Balcamo ran off the string of honors in 2019, beginning with the conference first team honor and position player of the year. Later, she added a Great Lakes first team all-region and then peaked with the 3rd team All-American honor by the National Fast Pitch Coaches Association. Melissa set season and career records for homers and posted the 2nd highest season batting average in CUC's history. The baseball team was led by several all-conference and all-region players, but senior pitcher Mike Formella had a great season, followed by a great postseason, as he was named a 2nd team All-American by both D3Baseball.com and the American Baseball Coaches Association. Mike earned season and career records for wins and saves, and he was the team's workhorse in leading the team through the conference tournament and the regionals. The highlight of Mike's year was going 2-0 in the Midwest Regional, including a complete game 3-hitter in the win over UW-Oshkosh that sent the Cougars back to the World Series. Mitch Wilson was also part of the World Series team, and he came back from a late season injury to lead the Cougars through their postseason run. His list of honors has included everything from becoming CUC's career leader in hits to being a 3rd team D3Baseball.com All-American in 2017. But this year, Mitch added one more honor, the ABCA Rawlings Gold Glove Award for his defensive excellence at second base. His reputation as an all-around player will be a boon to the Cougars, as he has already begun his position as graduate assistant coach for the team. Ladies and gentlemen, a big round of applause, please, as we thank all the great student athletes and their contribution to the athletics program here at Concordia-Chicago. To continue our halftime, Fans, today the Dazzlers are welcoming back some of their alumni who will be joining the halftime performance. At this time, let's bring on Concordia's cheer and dance team, the Dazzlers.
There's a party over here, a party over there, wave your hands in the air, shake it down, yeah. There it is, man. Now this is a story all about how my life got the whip turned upside down, and I'd like to take a minute, just sit right there. I'll tell you how I became the prince of a town called Bel Air.
The Dazzlers, ladies and gentlemen, past and present. And we even got the birthday boy in there for a little bit. We said his party was going to continue throughout the weekend. And now, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to meet the 2018 homecoming court. We will begin with the introduction of our 5 queen candidates, followed by the 5 men. We begin with Nicoletta Crowley from Romeoville, Illinois, a social work major with a minor in women and gender studies. Her escorts, parents Jack and Chris Crowley. Nicoletta enjoys being around her family and playing with her dogs at home. She loves playing volleyball, eating hot Cheetos, and watching Friends with her roommate Courtney. A fun fact about Nicoletta is that she wins every dance-off that she encounters. After graduation, Nicoletta plans to work as a volleyball graduate assistant while getting her master's in social work and eventually working in a middle or high school as a social worker. Next is Krista Pujero from Neptune, New Jersey, a psychology major with a minor in education, escorted by parents Peter and Christina. Krista has played on Concordia's women's soccer team all 4 years. She is a tour guide on campus and also involved in campus ministry. In her free time, she loves to hang out with friends and watch Netflix or go downtown to the city. 2 fun facts about Krista. She is overly obsessed with Disney. She has 2 tattoos that are Disney related. She is also in the process of buying a baby Nigerian dwarf goat. After graduation, Krista plans to work as a high school guidance counselor in the Chicago area. Next is Macy Kilman from Sapulpa, Oklahoma, a marketing and journalism major with a management minor, escorted by parents Linda and Curtis Kilman. Macy plays on the women's soccer team. After graduation, she plans to work in the Chicagoland area and possibly attend grad school. Next up is Natalie Hanley from Lakeville, Minnesota, a political science major with a minor in education, escorted by parents Nikki Fleming and David Hanley. And by the way, happy birthday, David. Natalie is a dual citizen of the United States and the United Kingdom. She works in undergraduate admissions, stays in Capella, and serves as the Student Government Association president at Concordia. Hockey is Natalie's favorite spectator sport. After graduation, she hopes to pursue a graduate degree abroad, serve in the Peace Corps, and definitely become a very stylish cat lady. And finally, we have Marie Schultz from Wood River, Illinois, an elementary education major with a theology minor. Her escorts are her mother, Ruth Schultz, sister-in-law and 2013 alum Rebecca, and her niece Gloria. Marie loves The Office, and her guilty pleasures are chocolate-covered pretzels and some good Folgers coffee. In her spare time, she enjoys wedding planning, watching throwback Disney movies, and hanging out at the house across from the set. A fun fact about Marie is, as a young 5-year-old flower girl, she performed a self-choreographed dance to Hit Me Baby One More Time at the wedding reception. After graduation, Marie's plans are to marry Jacob Sykes on June 14th. They will move into the St. Louis Seminary after the honeymoon. She also plans to get a Lutheran teaching job in the St. Louis area. And now let's meet our 5 candidates for Homecoming King. We start with Joel Prince from Hoffman, Illinois, a communications major with a minor in sports management. His escorts are parents Stephen and Lisa Prince and sister Anna. Joel is a member of the soccer team. He likes playing all types of sports, playing with friends, eating and sleeping. He enjoys traveling and has been to 36 of the 50 states. His hometown has 500 people and is an hour east of St. Louis, which means he is a rabid Cardinals fan. After graduation, Joel hopes to get a job or internship at a news or radio station. Next is Mark Mangiaracina. He is from Sherman, Illinois, a K-12 art education major with a minor in music. Escorts are his best friends Bethany Wall and Aaron Reynolds. Mark is currently student teaching around Springfield, Illinois. He plays trombone in multiple music groups, works as a tour guide for undergraduate admissions, and was an RA for 2 years. A fun fact about Mark is that he toured around South Africa with the school's Wind Symphony in May 2017. After graduation, Mark plans to teach high school art. Next is Jacob Childers from Southgate, Michigan. He's a Christian ministry major with a minor in biblical languages. His escorts are Mom Francie Childers and grandparents Terry and Carol Castro. Jacob is a 3rd-generation CUC student. His favorite food is spaghetti. His favorite type of music is country and alternative hip-hop. A fun fact about Jacob is he has an irrational fear of fish. After graduation, Jacob plans to attend Concordia Seminary in St. Louis in the fall of 2019 and become a pastor of the Lutheran Church Missouri Synod. Next is Jacob Sykes from Seymour, Indiana, an English major and a theology minor. His escorts are future brother-in-law and 2013 alum Jacob Schultz and Jacob's son Isaiah Schultz. Jacob serves as the president of Spiritual Life. A fun fact is that he played football in high school as a lineman. His hobbies include perfecting his quake. After graduation, Jacob plans to marry Marie Schultz and then attend Concordia Seminary in St. Louis to be a Lutheran pastor. And finally, we have Daniel Folkert from Sterling Heights, Michigan. A management major, a non-for-profit management minor. His escorts are Terry Bruce and Mary Ann. At Concordia, Daniel has enjoyed being involved in groups in the music program in Europe. His favorite activity is baseball, and he is a big White Sox fan. After graduation, Daniel's plans are undecided, but he would like to be involved in a not-for-profit organization. At this time, we would like to welcome back the King and Queen from 2017, Andrew Thompson and Allie Beck. They will do the honors of crowning our new King and Queen for 2018.
Yeah, they should have graduated earlier this year.
And ladies and gentlemen, let's have a big round of applause for all the members of this year's homecoming court. Congratulations to all, and especially to King Joe and Queen Marie.
Yeah, so like the week before, all of their stuff was like 50% off. So I got it like originally 50 for $25.
All right, folks, thanks for enjoying the halftime festivities here at Concordia Stadium. You just saw your new homecoming king and queen. If you had your bets for whoever, I hope you're a winner. A lot of picks were taken up here in the booth as well to see who was going to win. And I think the odds-on favorites were, but nevertheless, congrats to everybody that was honored for the homecoming king and queen nominations here this afternoon. As we get back to football now, the Spartans have a 21-10 lead here on the road against your Concordia Cougars. First downs 13-12 in favor of Concordia. Passing yards in favor of Concordia, 153-124. Big thing here through that first half of play was red zone efficiency. Aurora was 3 for 3 with their chances in the red zone, while for Concordia, they were only 2 of 5. And in terms of the individual side of the numbers, 11-12 and 124 yards through the air was Gavin Zimbelman, the sophomore quarterback for the Spartans. And on the ground, Connor Olson, 8 carries, 35 yards. I wanted to mention as well, we brought this up in the second quarter. Lance Moise, we saw number 14 out there, Samaj James, on the roster. Now, from what we were told from the middle stages of the second quarter, Moise had a jersey issue. He then switched to Samaj's jersey. So it has been Lance Moise out there. He's now wearing number 14, not 24. So if you're keeping up with that, he's now wearing number 14, the junior running back. So we apologize for the error there on that one. We have it all fixed. So Moise, the rest of the way, is wearing number 14 instead of his original 24. As we're about to get set here for second half action. Again, this is the first of a 2-game homestand for the Cougars. As, again, this is homecoming weekend here at Concordia Stadium. Temperature's starting to dip here a little bit, actually. Getting a lot cooler with the wind coming out of the northwest direction. Bit of a considerable breeze that it really picked up here at halftime. It looks like we'll bleed over here into the start of the third quarter. And looking at the rest of the stats here for the Cougars of Concordia-Chicago, Griffin Beaudet, 12 of 19, 137 yards through the air. Lance Moise, 16 carries, 70 yards net with 1 touchdown run on top of it. It was a 19-yard touchdown run back in the second quarter. And the Cougars put up 10 second quarter points. And the big thing for the Cougars on defense has been how they've been in the second quarter of games, and that's kind of where they've lost games, so to speak. Hence to the 1-3 record. But so far they had a decent second quarter in terms of how they held up opponents. They still trailed by 11 though, but in games past compare to what we're seeing here today, a much better result, and they are still well within striking distance here as we're about to begin the second half. Again, the Cougars in their home maroon jerseys, gold pants, maroon helmets, while for the Spartans of Aurora University, they're in their road white uniforms, white jerseys, white pants, and the navy road blue helmets. So 15 minutes up on the clock, and again, coming up here in a little bit in this third quarter, we'll speak to baseball head coach Mike Stosky, who will talk with him for a little bit in the third quarter when he joins me here in the booth, with his team going to back-to-back College World Series appearances. Some new staff as well that were honored here at halftime. Mike Formella, an All-American, and Gold Glove second baseman Mitch Wilson are now part of his coaching staff, so we'll get his thoughts on what they bring to the table from the other side of things, from the field to the dugout, along with some new field improvements and just how the overall atmosphere is at Concordia. If you're even interested in, perhaps if you're a young man or woman wanting to attend Concordia for your collegiate career, whether it's for baseball, softball, or other sports, or coming here for any other educational values that Concordia does offer here at River Forest. Aurora will be going left to right here for the third quarter. Or I should say Aurora left to right, Concordia right to left. You got back deep for the Spartans. You have number 25, it looks like, out there in Oscar Sanchez, and number 81 in Kai Tomazuski, number 81, back deep for the Spartans. Orlando Hayes ready to kick this one away. He had one successful field goal attempt back in the second quarter of play. And as the second half of the Spartans and your Cougars here on the Concordia Cougars Network is underway, it's a bit of a squib-style attempt, and a fair catch immediately called for. That is number 35 in Samuel Bruno-Heller, the freshman linebacker, with the fair catch. Smartly calling for that fair catch there, as the Cougars are going to try to pounce on that one. So the Spartans will have their first offensive drive of this second half, starting at the 42-yard line, roughly the 43, I should say. Again, they are led by the sophomore and Gavin Zimbelman, who had a 7-yard touchdown run back towards the end of the first quarter. 3 receivers out right, no one to the left. Olsen at the right hip. As the running back Connor Olsen will take it ahead of the 45 towards midfield, and forward progress will stop him right at about the 48-yard line. Again, just to reset your officials for today's homecoming match. You got the head referee Mike Lennis, the umpire David Kleisum, the head linesman Peter Saul, the line judge John Hughes. Mike Cunningham is our side judge. The field judge today is Tom Wedrick, and our back judge is Sam Banks. 2nd and 5 off the first down run, 3 receivers right, as Zimbelman kind of hesitated to run up in the pocket and gets ahead of the 50, and that's where he gives himself up at for the slide to bring up 3rd down for Aurora. Again, overcast skies here today. There's a gain of about 3 on the run. 3rd down and 3 at the 50. 3 receivers right, no one to the left. Olsen at the right hip of Zimbelman. And Olsen will not get the run. He's going to have a throw over the middle and holding on, I believe. No, they're saying incomplete pass, but coming out with the hit stick like a Madden video game is Caleb Casey. What a hit. And it forces 4th down, and the Spartans will come out to punt. What a big hit. The crowd reacting to that one in a joyous manner as Robert Beragon and Alejandro Alvarez are back deep to receive this punt for Concordia, back at their own 10. As Ryan Basden is out to punt this one away for the Spartans. Here is the punt, and it'll be the Cougars not taking it. It takes a Spartans bounce, and it'll land inside the 5-yard line. And the Cougars will have their first second-half drive starting at their own 3. Can we mention the Cougars kind of go with a quarterback rotation at times? Jordan Sepulveda has gotten most of the touches here this season, alongside Griffin Bodette and even the senior in Rob Granquist for a few touches at center. But today it's been the Griffin Bodette show, the sophomore from St. Joseph, Michigan. So he starts off as quarterback here in the 3rd quarter of play. 2 receivers out to the left, now 3 as one comes in motion. Moise will get it on the handoff. Again, he's wearing number 14, not 24, due to a jersey issue. So Moise on the carry. A penalty flag came in right towards the line of scrimmage on the near side of the field. We'll get the call here in a moment. Wasn't a gain of much on that first down run, though, nevertheless. And we'll see what the call is, and a bit of a delay as to
Penalties decline. 2nd down.
Either way, we heard the penalty that go against the Cougars, and the Spartans declined it, so they'll take the 2nd down instead of the yardage here. Shotgun formation, 2 receivers left, 1 to the right for Bodette, as he's going to throw over the middle. Pass is incomplete, as that one went in and out of the hands there of Joshua Van Dalsen, the freshman tight end from Kelloggsville, Wyoming. Brings up 3rd down for the Cougars. Again, coming up here in a few minutes, we'll speak to baseball coach Mike Stowski on the broadcast. Talk about his Cougars baseball squad that has had some excellent success over the last couple of seasons here in River Forest. 2 receivers each side, 3rd down and 9 at the 5. Bodette steps up. He's going to run for it. Not going to be enough for a 1st down. Brings up 4th down, as taking him down on the side of the Spartans was Curtis Cheyenne, the senior defensive lineman from Aurora, Illinois. And a quick 3-0 for the Cougars, and they will have to come out and punt. There's nothing doing for the opening drives here of this 2nd half for either side. Brent Kruger to punt this one away. Back deep, you've got Tomaszewski for the Spartans, one of their main guys on special teams. And this one going to the left side, and calling for the fair catch was Keon Adams, the junior from Elgin, Illinois. And a late flag comes out behind the play. Flag is back at the Concordia 10-yard line. Didn't see what happened. This is away from the ball where the flag came out. Two flags are out there, rather. Imagining this would be for the same penalty, but nevertheless. Right here, the official call with the mic going in and out, but nevertheless, the penalty went against Aurora. So this one is going to back up the Spartans a few more yards, as they have it now spotted at the Cougars' 30-yard line. And that is where this drive will start for the Spartans in great field position. Up 21-10 with 12:39 to play here in this 3rd quarter. 2 receivers out right, 1 to the left. Olsen at the right hip. As a man comes in motion and getting the carry here, coming to the near side and taken down ahead of the 20-yard line is Logorado. And we have an injured Cougar back at the 30-yard line. That's number 97, and Colin Salmon Jr., the sophomore defensive lineman from Myanmar, Florida, as he is slow to get up. Clock stopped at 12:29. As he tried to cut through the blockers there off the man in motion in Logorado, who got it off the run to the near side. Looks like the appears to be favoring his right leg based on the medical staff out there attending to the injured Cougar. Thanks for joining us here on homecoming weekend on the Concordia Cougars Network. I'm Ryan Fay with you here on the call today. I want to give a special shout out to CJ Selner and the great staff behind the scenes here at Concordia. As walking off on his own power is number 97 in Colin Salmon. So good to see him walking off on his own power. And we'll see if he returns to action later on this afternoon. So it'll be first down and 10 for the Spartans on the Cougars' 18-yard line. They have two receivers lined up to the left, one to the right, ball to the near right hash. As a man comes in motion, that's Starks. As Zimbelman throws to the left side, and a wide open receiver, Danny Logorado, takes it in for a Spartans touchdown. So Logorado makes it 27-10. Spartans with 12:19 to play here in the third quarter. Extra point coming up for Zach Mirabelli. Here comes the snap, the hold, and the kick. It is up, and it is good. So it's now a 28-10 Spartans lead with 12:19 to play here in the third quarter. So after receiving the opening kickoff and not doing much on its first drive, but here on the second one, they are able to get a touchdown out of it. 18 yards from Gavin Zimbelman to Danny Logorado. Makes it an 18-point difference here on the scoreboard. And if you're the Cougars, trying to get more touches to Lance Moise, perhaps 17 carries, 71 net yards on the day so far with a touchdown. Again, this is a running back who poised to rush for over 1,000 yards coming into play today. He was at 924, and with those 71 net yards, that does put him over. It just puts him actually at 995 on the net yardage category. So he is 5 yards away from hitting 1,000 yards on the season already. As coming in today, he averaged just over 9 yards a run, has 9 rushing touchdowns on the season. He had 4 in that loss last week at Lakeland. As Mirabelli will boot this one away. And this one bobbled back into the end zone, and the Cougars will hold it back there for a touchback. As that was Caleb Neely, number 25. So here come the Cougars out on offense once again. Bodette.
Second here, let's thank the Concordia Cougar Band for coming out this afternoon and playing for us. Great job as always.
Nice shout out to the Cougars band that's been performing some of the more sights and sounds of Concordia Stadium here this afternoon. Ball now at 25. Cougars looking for some answers here, down by 18 in the third quarter. 3 receivers out left, 1 to the right. Moise at the left hip as Bodette quickly throws to the right side for Corey Dooley. It's caught. Ahead of the 30-yard line, brings up second down. Corey Dooley today, for that catch, 5 catches, 78 yards.
Out of bounds after a gain of 5. It will be second and 5 from
So it'll be 6 catches, 83 yards on the day for Corey Dooley, the junior from Dallas, Texas. As this one on the run is Moise ahead of the 35. That is enough for Cougars first down with the forward progress. And they'll move the chains.
right around that first down marker. We'll wait and keep the spot.
And a big pile up there of Spartan linemen trying to get up from that run as they take the extra second to do that. So with that 6-yard run, first down for Concordia. 3 receivers now out to the right, 1 to the left. Moise in the backfield with Bodette. And Bodette will keep this one himself, and he's going to run for it outside the numbers and is going to be out just short of the 45-yard line for a second down and short. So a nice run there from the sophomore quarterback on the keep. Under 12 minutes to play in the third. And coming up here in a few minutes, we'll have baseball coach Mike Stofsky join me here on the call as we'll talk about his team's recent success, along with some stuff away from baseball too, as Moise on the carry to the left side past the 45 to the 50 gets taken out of bounds into Spartans territory for a Cougars first down. So nicely done there from the junior running back from Coral Springs, Florida. They mark him out at the 45. 3 receivers right, 1 left, that's Alvarez. Moise at the left hip of Bodette. Play clock down now to 10. And Bodette will keep it off the fake handoff. Throw over the middle into tight coverage, deflected, incomplete. Gaining that deflection there was Casey Kiernick, the senior from Mount Prospect, Illinois. A tight window that Bodette was trying to throw into with about 3 receivers, or I should say 3 defenders in the area for Aurora as they were trying to act like receivers for an interception. Second down and 10. Ones across the board, 11-11 here in the third. Second and 10 at the 44. Quick throw to the left. Alvarez catches it as he gets Shirley ahead of the 40-yard line for third down. Alvarez today, before that catch, 2 catches, 14 yards. So a 5-yard completion for third down now coming up. They need to get to the 34 of the Spartan side to convert. Three receivers right, 1 to the left. Same play yet again. Moise at the right hip of Bodette. And Bodette's going to keep it. Throws to the right. Pass is caught. That's Hoff. Down the sidelines he goes. Cuts back towards the middle. Eric Hoff. Touchdown Cougars. 39 yards to the house. No flags on the field. 28-16 with 10:34 to go in the third. In the last home game for Eric Hoff, he broke away for a big touchdown as well of over 50 yards. So Eric Hoff proving he can be a big play threat downfield with a great cut back in towards the middle of the field. Hayes out for the extra point. The snap, the hold, and the kick. It is up, and it is good. So the Cougars respond, trailing now once again by 11, score now at 28-17. 10:34 to play in the third quarter, courtesy of a 39-yard touchdown reception from Eric Hoff, the freshman from Pembroke Pines, Florida. He's now at 5 catches, 90 yards, and a touchdown here on the day is the freshman, 5'7". Him and Dooley, the top 2 targets for Bodette here today. Both of them combining for 11 catches out of the 15 that have been completed. And they have also combined for 173 of the 186 total yards thrown by Bodette here today. You also had a toss play from Isaiah Alvarez that was successful for 16 yards back in the first half. So teams back out there for the kickoff. Hayes signals he's ready. And And here is the kick from Hayes. Spartans look to bring it back past the 20, and getting ahead of the 30-yard line was Oscar Sanchez, the freshman from Woodland, California. So the Spartans now will take over, up 28-17 with 10:31 to play in the, or I should say 10:25 to play here in the third. Ball at the 31-yard line. They may be spotted at the 32, and that's what it looks like. So Zimbelman back out. Two running backs in the backfield at his left and right hips. You got Olsen at the right hip and Bailey at the left. Two receivers out left, one to the right. Olsen now goes in motion as Bailey's going to get the run up the middle. Stumbles ahead of the 35 for a decent gain on first down. As he'll be marked down at the 38-yard line. Tyron Bailey, the sophomore from Oswego, Illinois. Far southwest suburbs of the Chicagoland area. Product of Oswego East High School. One of the newer high schools in the state of Illinois. I believe that was established back in 2008, I want to say. As that is enough for a first down run there from Bailey.
Ball is at the 44-yard line, first and 10 for Aurora.
They're founded back in 2004. I apologize to all the Oswego East people out there that may be tuning in. 2004 is when they were founded. Two backs in the backfield, two receivers left, one right. Olsen in motion as Zimbelman throws to the left side for a wide open Logorado, but that one overthrown and incomplete for second down. .9:40 on the clock here in the third quarter. Wide receiver change as Emilio Starks now comes in for Danny Logorado. And also Logorado now stepping out to the sidelines as Bailey now will come on in. And a timeout. Looks like some personnel issue for the Spartans as the offensive coordinator and receivers coach Eric Studman really handing it to his team. Not being set there for that second down, having to use one of their 3 timeouts here because of it. So clock stopped at 9:40, 28-17 Spartans who are looking for their first victory here in 2018. They're 0-4 overall and 0-1 in Northern Athletics Collegiate Conference play. That one loss came last week at Eureka College by the score losing 31-28. And for your Cougars, who began conference play last week up in Plymouth, Wisconsin, they lost to Lakeland University 61-28. And this is the first of a 2-game homestand for the Cougars as they'll welcome in Eureka College for a 1 o'clock kickoff next week. Then it's a away-home pattern to conclude 2018. So 2nd and 10 as Olsen's going to get the carry to the left side. He gets outside the numbers, past the 50, and it is enough for another Spartans first down as Olsen puts that one into Cougars territory. Ball at the 45 on the far left hash. 2 receivers each side. Bailey at the left hip of Zimbelman. In the shotgun, Zimbelman takes the high snap. He's going to air it to the right side, and the pass in a nice route, recovering the football as he juggled it for a moment. Danny Logorado brings it into the house for a 45-yard Spartans touchdown. His second of the afternoon. And it's now 34-17 Spartans. Mirabelli now to attempt the point after. As that throw there from Zimbelman, he threw it to Logorado in the route. And Logorado looked like he may have taken his eyes off the ball for a moment as the extra point is good and was just able to corral it right back in off the initial touch, trying to catch it. As he beat the secondary of the Cougars on that one by about a step and a half. And with the extra point being good, it's now 35-17 with 9:05 to play here in the third quarter. So Logorado, 4 catches, 86 yards, 2 touchdowns on the day. Emilio Starks, 3 catches, 48 yards in a score. Zimmelman, very efficient today. 13 of 16, 187 yards, 3 touchdowns, his longest that being that 45-yard touchdown to Danny Logorado. In terms of the running game, Connor Olson, 10 carries, 49 yards. Logorado, 2 carries for 26. Bailey with 3 for 18. And Zimmelman, 7 for 17. Again, coming up here in a few minutes, we'll speak to head baseball coach Mike Stosky. Talk about some of his recent success with the Cougars out on the baseball field on the opposite side of us here in the booth. Get his thoughts on his new coaching staff and some of the new field improvements they're going to have for 2019. As on the catch here, that is Caleb Neely, number 25. Neely, a nice run there towards the 25. And that's where the Cougars will take over. Again, overcast skies here today. The threat of rain has held off for the most part. There was a chance of rain later tonight, but the lingering threat has appeared to have stayed away from River Forest for now. As looking at the latest weather map right now, they're projecting storms to be well after this game concludes, so that's a good thing for us. But overall, overcast skies, temperatures in the upper 50s, feeling a lot cooler though with the northwest breeze. Everybody bundled up in the jeans and sweatshirts today. As this one out to the far side, a nice run that puts the Cougars at second and short. That was Moise on the carry yet again. He's wearing number 14 here from the second quarter onward. He had a jersey issue back in the second quarter that caused him to flip jerseys with the freshman Samaj James. And we had thought up here for the booth one that was Samaj James that checked in, but we did confirm the jersey swap. So now Moise wearing 14 gets that first down, trying to hurdle a defender. And he gets ahead of the 40 for a Cougars first down. 8:31 on the clock here in this third quarter. Cougars still got some work to do to try to get back into this, down by a score of 18 points. Ball at the 40. Moise now at 96 yards on the net side of the gain, and whistle and a flag comes out. A little bit of a later flag for a false start to commence, but nevertheless, that's going to back up the Cougars 5 yards. And the ref having a mic issue trying to fully say the penalty. But nevertheless, if following along with us, you can get the assumption as to what the call was. First and 15 now back at the 35-yard line as we approach 8 minutes to go in the third. 2 receivers left, 1 right as Bodette throws to the right. Pass going for the one-handed catch there was Corey Dooley, but it falls incomplete for second down. And homecoming weekend here at Concordia. Let's get Mike's thoughts on the alumni game that didn't play, if he had a prediction as to who could have won or lost and any players to have watched out for in that game. Second and 15 from the 35. Bodette to the right side. This one definitely caught this time for Dooley. Gets ahead of the 40 and brings up a more manageable third down for Bodette and the Cougars. Three receivers line up to the left side, 1 to the right. Ball to the far hash at the 41. Need to get to the 50 to convert on this third down. Wind starting to gust up here yet again. Bodette takes the snap, he steps up, throws over the middle, tight coverage, intercepted. Chase Foreman with the INT, sliding just short of the 40-yard line. And the Spartans with their first defensive takeaway of the afternoon. Chase Foreman, the junior from Huntington Beach, California, comes with the INT, and here to turn our spirits around after the interception, kind of right on cue for this one in particular, as joining us here in the broadcast booth as we get into the middle stages of the third quarter of action is the head baseball coach, Mike Stosky. Coach, thanks for joining me here on the booth.
Oh, appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
So you're here to brighten our spirits after the interception as Zimbelman here on the first down will give this one to Bailey up the middle for a first down and a whole lot more. New set of downs coming up for the Spartans, but now back to your team. You had some of your new coaching staff that you're bringing on for this year honored at halftime. You got an All-American in Mike Formella and a Gold Glove second baseman who was presented with that Gold Glove in Mitch Wilson to your staff for the future. What do they bring to the table for your side of things?
Well, they bring a wealth of knowledge, but most importantly, they bring 4 years of experience under me and Coach Connor, so they know what the system is and they know how to teach it, and that's going to be just invaluable to our current players.
As on this first down, it's Bailey on the carry. Tries to get outside the numbers. He gets ahead of the 20, and it looks like that will be enough for another Spartans first down off the initial spot. Homecoming weekend here at Concordia. You've been here now for a few seasons on that side of it as a coach. It's nothing like it here.
No, man, this is one of our favorite weekends of the year. I wish we got to play. I wish we got this kind of crowd at our games and stuff. But it's fun. It's fun to be a part of it. Fun to see the football team get this many fans here, and just the whole weekend's fun to see all these guys come back. And I get to watch a lot of my former players kind of meet each other, and it's been a really cool day so far for us.
Three our receivers line up to the left. Bailey at the left hip of Zimbelman, and Bailey's going to get the carry yet again ahead of the 15-yard line. And that'll bring up second down. I know you guys were going to have the alumni game earlier this morning, but because of the storms last night, you guys weren't able to play with it. I talked to some of your former players up in the garage earlier today, and they were kind of bummed they couldn't play.
Yeah, you probably talked to the 3 or 4 that were bummed. The rest of them were not. So yeah, it was a lot of them not too bummed when I sent that text last night. But yeah, unfortunately the weather canceled us a little bit today. But it was cool because we got to spend a lot of time together. We were here at 10 a.m. together as a group and just got to spend some time together and tell a bunch of stories and reminisce, and that's always the best part of the day.
I heard you sent out a 50-plus person group chat. Is that true?
I did. I don't know how it happened. I'll be honest with you. I think I don't know how that happened. I have the ability on an app to send out text to multiple people, and it goes in as one text, and all of a sudden somehow it got sent to 50 at a time. So that group chat went crazy there for a while.
Yeah, I was talking to CJ, who brought you into the booth here a moment ago, and he said his phone was just exploding.
Yeah,
because of that.
I turned it off after a while. Guys that haven't connected in a while, now they're starting to get after each other. It was fun. It was a mistake on my part, but I guess it was a pretty good mistake at the end of the day.
Well, sometimes accidents that happen like that are the best things that can happen.
That's exactly right.
Third down and 8 here for the Spartans as we're joined by head coach Mike Stosky of the Concordia Cougars baseball staff as a flag comes out. Throw to the right side is incomplete. And Zimbelman trying to look at the head referee for roughing the passer call perhaps. And it's going to be a holding on the Spartans to back them up. So 35-17 our score here. Again, chatting with head coach Mike Stosky of the Concordia Cougars baseball team. Now, over the last couple of seasons, you guys have had some excellent success on the field. Back-to-back World Series appearances as the head referee confirms that holding call. What has been that secret to success for you guys?
I think it's a multiple reasons. We've had a lot of older guys. We've been senior-led for a long time. We've done a real good job in recruiting where our classes are pretty even. So when we lose a big class, we bring a big class, another class in. So I think that helps. And I think it's just a matter of getting the right mix. We were out-talented a lot last year, but we were never out-teamed. We never looked across the other dugout and saw a team that was better than us, and I think that made the difference.
Mirabelli for the 34-yard attempt, and it is too far to the right, no good. So Mirabelli missing that first field goal of the afternoon for his attempts.
I'm already bringing good luck in the booth.
Yeah, you come in after the Chase Foreman interception, and the Spartans missed their first field goal attempt of the afternoon. So with just over 5 minutes to play in the third quarter, it stays at 35-17 in favor of the visiting Spartans. Again, chatting here with head coach Mike Stosky of the Concordia Cougars baseball staff. I'm Ryan Fay with you here on the Concordia Cougars Network. One of the guys on your team, a conference player of the year, Kppen, who kind of helped you guys get to that recent success over you had the last couple of years. What has he meant to you in the program?
So Kevin Kppen has done more for us off the field than he'll ever do on the field, and he was a heck of a player. He's an all-conference player, 4-year starter. But, what he brought to the table, it's amazing that he's been gone now, since May, obviously, and guys that are here that may have never met him are still feeling the reverberation of what he brought. Such a class act kid, both on and off the field. He was a 4.0 student. He was a president of SAC. I mean, he's the prototypical kid that you just pray for as a coach. So, what he brought to the program is unmatched by anybody I've ever coached.
There's a few-yard gain there on the run from Moise as Beaudet throws to the right side. That's deflected, incomplete. So that'll bring up third down. And, kind of just going back to that, the words you mentioned about Kevin, how that effect is still happening off of the field. And that's something you can't teach as a coach.
It's not. For instance, our sophomore catcher this year, we asked a few guys to volunteer for SAC, and our sophomore catcher came up and said, hey, I'd like to join it, which was kind of surprising to me because he didn't seem like that personality. And my head assistant, Colin, said to me, hey, Kevin kind of was his role model. Kopp was a guy that he looked up to, and that's why he's doing it, because Kopp was involved and now he wants to do it. So
As this one juggled at the line, Aurora thinks they have the interception, but they were going to say the ball hit the turf first for an incompletion. Another scary throw there from the sophomore in Beaudet as the punting unit will come on out. With 4:44 to play here in the third quarter. Now, going forward as well, you guys are going to have some new field improvements over at the other side of the field.
We are. If you want to see the field as it is now, take a picture because we're ripping it up on Monday. So we're bringing in Roger Bossert, who runs the White Sox grounds crew. And
the
Sod father. He's coming in and he's going to tear up basically our whole entire infield and a little bit of the outfield area and lay a whole new surface for us. We just need it updated. It hasn't been updated in about eight years. And, the big thing that we're looking forward to is we're trying to get some playoffs here because the national tournament is now moved to on campus again, and we're going to have a chance to host some regionals. So that's one of the main reasons why we're doing this.
That fourth down punt there from Brett Kruger, the wind not helping his favor there at the ballpark. Wind blowing in from the left field side, so to speak, as that one really kind of came back and took a Spartans bounce. I believe there may have been a flag that was also thrown out. There was back at the 15. As again, Chetting here. We'll listen for the call. That was Casey Kiernick on the penalty for the Spartans. So we'll hold everything on that one for a moment as the Spartans offense can get right back out there and get a nice relief as this one will move closer towards midfield. And you mentioned with those field improvements, and you say take a picture now before, Roger Bossert and the crew comes in and, makes those kind of changes. I mean, you can't imagine the excitement that your players are going to have for it as well.
Yeah, they've been asking for it since I got in the door, and this is my sixth season. So it's not that it's long overdue by any means, but at the same time, it's something that we need to do, and we're going to continue to host big games, and we just need a new, updated, renovated field at this point.
And a penalty flag comes out after the play had ended. Good arm there from the official. You think he plays outfield, or
if he's left-handed, I'll sign him up.
Get the call in a moment. Flag was thrown at the Concordia side at the 40-yard line off the initial run. Again, chatting here with Mike Stosky of the Concordia Cougars baseball staff. As that's going to be an unsportsmanlike after the play on Curtis Shield, the senior defensive lineman. So penalty shooting themselves in the foot here for the Spartans as we approach 4.5 to play here in this third quarter. And one of the things I want to ask you about for the younger viewers that are tuning in here today, and I'll get to your thoughts because I know this is probably going to be in depth after I ask this following question. 3 receivers out to the right, 1 to the left, and we've got movement at the line, and it looks like that may be a false start. So while they call the false start, the atmosphere at Concordia, from your vantage point, if you are to describe it, how would you?
It's such a tight-knit family. The athletes are so loyal to each other. I see all the time. You see pictures at volleyball games, at soccer games. No one's prejudiced to any other sport. I mean, there's such a cool support system. I think it's because we do have so many athletes. I think because so many people do live on campus that people are here and they want to be a part of this and they enjoy seeing the success of their friends. And I think that that again reverberates throughout the entire campus. And obviously, when you put a good product on the field, like we've had a fortunate chance to over the last years, you get more and more support. And that's what I say. We got recruits that come on, we got fans that come on and say, man, you guys got a lot of people at your games. And I said it's really easy to talk people to come to the game when we're ranked 5th in the country and it's 70 degrees and sunny. So we've been very fortunate in the fact that we've had some success, but in the same sense, we've been able to share that success with the campus, and they've given it right back to us with their support.
4:09 to play here in the third quarter. Second down and long here for Concordia. 2 receivers to the left, 1 out to the right. Moise at the right hip of Griffin Bodette, the sophomore quarterback. As he takes the snap, he is going to look over the middle for his intended target, the freshman in Pinellas, who muffed a punt back in the first quarter, trying to redeem himself here. That led to a Spartans running touchdown back in that opening quarter. As we now have under 4 minutes to play. Now, I have to do this because this was a request I got in the garage.
From Dan Kluss, I'm guessing.
How did you know?
Because I know you're friends with Dan.
He saw me prior. Okay, so he mentioned it. So I'm going to ask the question as looks like we have a flag out on the field. And I know the viewers that are watching this aren't going to see this, so I have to put this on video because he didn't think I was going to do this. I have to be honest with you.
Okay.
This is what he told me when I walked into the stadium today. So I'm going to ask the question while I record this off my phone and send him. So, as I ask, if you had to describe Dan Kluss in one word in his time here, what would it be? As you shake your head and think of a word.
Interesting. He's a miracle. He is astonishing.
He's astonishing.
And he is what's the best word? Unpredictable. Because
okay, there you go.
But I'll tell you this. The other thing I'll say about Dan, and I've said it to him many times, so this is not news to him or his family, he's one of the fiercest competitors I've ever been around. I mean, people say all the time, the golden question is, all right, if you had to win one game in your career, who do you want on the mound? Man, Dan Kluss's name comes up every time just because he was a winner. And, I like Danny. I got to see him for the first time in a while today, and he warned me that I might be getting some questions on him, so I was prepared.
It was just the one.
Yeah.
I didn't want to say bottom of the barrel baseball talent by any means. I didn't want to insult. I already said it. So
sure.
Oops on my part. But looks like we do have an injured Cougar down on the far side of the field, as the Cougars were charging into Spartans territory. 3:30 on the clock here in this third quarter. And again, mentioning it as homecoming weekend here, and when you go through seasons though, with the success that you've had, going to back-to-back World Series appearances over the last couple of seasons, how much feedback do you get from alumni that maybe didn't get that chance while they were a player and then get to see the success after they've graduated and moved on?
That's been kind of the biggest joy we've had in it as a coaching staff, besides watching our players go through the success they've had, is just getting the emails and the text messages and the phone calls of the thank yous for hey, we're there with you. We feel like we're a part of this. We never had a chance to do this, and now we're right there with you. So it's really nice for us to kind of being able to, obviously play our best ball at the end of the season, but do it for not just the 35 guys on the team. But I say all the time, I said it today too, we're standing on the shoulders of our alumni. I mean, they're the ones that built this program. They're the ones that took it from where it was to where it is now. And in 5 years, when we have a whole new group of guys and everyone that's on this roster is gone, we're going to be standing on these guys' shoulders. So, it's one of those things when you have a tradition like we have and you have a program like we have, nothing that we do is done without the support and help of everyone that's come before us. So it's really nice to hear those guys feel a part of the program even years and years after they graduate when we make those kind of runs.
Again, injury timeout out on the field. 3.5 minutes to play here in this third quarter. If you're just joining us, it's been mostly all Spartans all afternoon, as they have a 35-17 lead over your Concordia Cougars here on homecoming weekend. We're talking with head baseball coach Mike Stowski, who has led the Cougars on the baseball side of things in the springtime to back-to-back World Series appearances. New staff of Mike Formella and Mitch Wilson on his side. Talked about the new field improvements from Roger Bossard, the sod father, coming to River Forest, coming from the south side to the north side of things above 290. And mentioning the great atmosphere here at Concordia here in River Forest. And looks like the medical cart has come on out as well, and something we obviously don't want to see in any sport at any level. As you see both teams taking a knee in honor of the injured player. But continuing with our conversation here on the baseball side of things, what's next now for 2019 and beyond for you guys? How do you continue going forward with that success you've had with back-to-back appearances in the World Series?
I think we have to obviously, not get away from the remedy that's got us to where we are. I mean, we have a really good system and we like what we do. We've recruited that system, so we've got some players that adapt to what we do. But in the same sense, we're really excited about the new group. I think this will be the year that we pitch. For the last few seasons, we've really kind of relied on an offense, and our pitching staff has always been good enough to really get us far. I think what's going to happen this year is you're going to see a reverse where we're going to really, really pitch and rely on that part of the game, and our offense is going to be good enough to take us really far. So we're excited about it. How do we get better? Well, we finished fourth, so it's going to be tough to get better than that. But in the same sense, we know that we know what kind of got us here, and we just got to continue to do those little things and concentrate on the stuff that's small details that kind of creeps up on you in these big kind of games.
Got medical card still out on the field for the injured Cougar that is down on the far side of the field. Didn't see who initially had gone down on the play after it had finished. As I'm taking a look at the starting 11 that was out there for the offense, I believe that may have been the junior running back. Don't want to speculate at the moment because I did not see it when it happened, but that looked like that may have been Lance Moise, the star running back. And even regardless, it's still a big loss when you have to have the medical card come out. And Coach, you've seen injuries before, and when you get to serious injuries like this, especially with the card having to come out here in this instance, it's something you never want to see.
Yeah, absolutely. We deal with it. Obviously, our sport's a lot different, and the danger isn't in every single play like it is here. But if anytime you see an athlete like this, it doesn't matter, what sport it is or what they mean to the team. These guys, these football players, I mean, they work countless hours. They're doing it through all kinds of different weather, and they're doing it in the dead heat of the summer when we're all still sitting at home. They're hitting 2-a-days, and so it's, I know that I see firsthand the work that these guys put in, and they, these guys are champions on our of toughness on our campus, that's for sure. So
again, we still have our injury timeout with the card on in the field. Again, thanks for joining us here on the Concordia Cougars Network. Alongside head baseball coach of your Concordia Cougars and Mike Stowski, I'm Ryan Fahey with you here on the call today, here on homecoming weekend. And obviously the somber note to having homecoming weekend here is the moment we're having, unfortunately, with the injured Cougar down on the far side of the field. Again, clock is at 3:30 here in this third quarter. In your 6 years that you've mentioned that you've been with Concordia, let's get away from the on-field moments. You've been to the World Series back-to-back seasons now, so of course that is going to be a favorite moment. Do you have an off-the-field one that you've had here in the 6 years that really sticks out to you the most?
There's been a few.
And don't mention a dance story to get his ego up, just so you know.
Yeah, I can't name too many dance stories off the field. I don't think we're able to do that homecoming weekend. But
or on air for that matter.
Yeah, that's exactly right. It's been so cool, quite honestly, is, and probably every coach that's listening can appreciate this, but it's the little moments that come with parents and families and stuff that, thank us for what we've done for their son. And we have so many guys that, my first year, we had a group of seniors that were tremendous, and Dan was one of them. And I only got to spend 9 months with those guys, and still to this day, they talk about the impact that we made on them and whatnot. And it's those little things, the championships and all that kind of stuff and the banners. It's really cool, and it's cool to brag about and tell your kids about when you're older. But at the same sense, we got 35 guys down there waiting to be honored after the third quarter, and they'll tell you their favorite moments happened in a hotel room, they happened on the bus, they happened at a dinner for the team. It wasn't on the field, and I think that's probably all sports, especially when you're at a university like us with great coaches and great leadership at the top.
Now it looks like they've called for the medical stretcher to come on out now to the field as the ambulance is off in the near corner by the entrance. As again, we do have an injury timeout for just joining us. 3:30 here remaining in the third quarter, 35-17 our score. Mike Stowski, excuse me, the head baseball coach of Concordia, joining me here in the booth here on homecoming weekend, and you even kind of feel a more draining energy come out of the crowd when you have that. Now when you see the ambulance coming out towards the field and the stretcher coming on out.
Yeah, unfortunately with these, you just never know what the severity of the injury is. And I think also everyone's kind of trying to figure out who it is. Yeah, it is on the far side of the field, and
I did just get it confirmed that it was Lance Moise that is the injured.
And that is a
huge blow to this team that has really relied on him in the running game. Today, 23 carries, 106 yards of net yards, along with a rushing touchdown. His longest run of the day, 47 yards. He does now have over 1,000 yards on the season, but you don't want to see it coming to an end, especially, like, not saying the end by any means. We don't know the severity of his injury and don't want to speculate or assume anything. But you come here on homecoming weekend looking to eclipse 1,000 yards, you get it, and then you end that day by perhaps going on the stretcher and towards an ambulance.
And Lance is one of those guys where, everyone on campus knows who he is. I mean, obviously his name is known well on campus for all the success he's had and accolades he's had on the field. But, he's a workhorse, too. I mean, you see him in the weight room. He's such a positive guy around the campus, too. Sometimes these athletes, you don't even really know who they are, especially football players, because they got their helmets on. We don't get to see who they are. But Lance is one of those guys everyone knows who he is. And so we'll obviously be praying for him and his recovery.
So with the stretcher coming on out, looks like they may have put Lance on it at the moment, and you see some of the Cougars players wanting to even go out there just to check on their teammate. And I mean, you've seen it, Coach, when you get a guy that's hurt and you want to see the teammates going out there to check on him, and then the medical staff's saying, hey, he needs his space. It just kind of tells you the camaraderie that you've got, with a teammate or, one of your own guys that as you mentioned, you treat them like family.
Yeah, these guys, they go through it all together. I mean, they go through the best and the worst of their years together, no matter what. I mean, I say all the time, these football players are seeing each other more than anybody else in their lives. Born mom and dad, girlfriend, anybody else. They spend all day together, and so you never want to see anything like this. And for his teammates right now, and I've been there, and trust me, I've coached these kind of guys. It's just a matter of right now they're just hoping he's okay and nothing serious, and a lot of this is precautionary. And that's what they want to make sure. But quite honestly, at this point, they just want to know that they want him to know that they're there for him and supporting him, and that's why they're trying to get out there just to give him a quick clap.
Crowd now for a standing ovation for Lance Moise, who is being stretched off the field. And we wish Lance nothing but the best here and hope it is not as serious as it appeared to look after he got taken down on the far side of the field. And, and you kind of mentioned this a moment ago as well, that you may not, for the fans they may not even know who it is out there. But once you see wearing number 14, not 24, as he did a jersey swap earlier, that now as a offense, you kind of needed to change things up a little bit, as that is your workhorse in the backfield, as they'll bring him off the field, and have to imagine the players would get a few minutes here to kind of stretch out and warm up again, as we did have the delayed injury timeout. But, Coach, I do want to thank you for stopping by in the booth. Much appreciated here on homecoming weekend. Great conversation. I believe we had, and Dan got his filling in. He just got his name mentioned on air, so his ego is going to be rubbed off for probably the rest of the season. But, Coach, all the best in 2019 and going forward, and thanks for joining me here in the booth. Much appreciated.
Appreciate it.
And that was Mike Stowski, the head baseball coach, joining us here on the broadcast on homecoming weekend, as we're ready to get football going in just a few moments. And again, we want to wish nothing but the best in terms of a recovery for Lance Moise, the running back for the Cougars. Again, 35-17 our score. We'll get back to play. It is second down and about 7. This was a 3-yard carry, so both teams now back out towards the field. So the ball at the 26-yard line. You now have Tyler Martins, the sophomore from Greenwood, Indiana, in at running back. And he's going to get a carry right away as he piles to the right side, close to the 20-yard line, to bring up a short third down.
26, Tyler Martins on carry.
Tyler Martins with his first run of the afternoon, and have to imagine he's going to get most of the touches in the running spot for the rest of the afternoon today. As Lance is out for the rest of the game now, as Bodette here on 3rd and short. Scrambles around in the pocket. He's going to throw to the right side. Pass is incomplete. As the pressure came in from the backside as Martins was trying to make the catch. As in coverage there, looked like that was Chase Foreman on the far side of the field. Brings up a 4th down. Offense for Concordia staying out there. 2 receivers each side. Martins to the right hip of Bodette. Bodette left side, pass caught. Alvarez first down into the 15 towards the 10. And a nice 4th down conversion for the Cougars.
At this time, the members of the Cougar baseball team, please report to the white tent at the south end of the bleachers.
So now
Cougar baseball team,
the
white tent at the south end of the bleachers.
Cougars baseball team will be honored after the quarter concludes, as our guy CJ Selner and head coach Mike Stosky, who we just talked to on the broadcast, are going to head down. CJ, a baseball alum, as on this 1st and goal for a gain of a few to bring up 2nd down. Again, 35-17 our score. So 2nd down and about 8 to go. Again, you're just joining us. Had the long injury timeout and having the medical stretcher come out for Lance Moise, who didn't see the injury specifically as to what happened. Is this one over the middle? Caught, touchdown, Cougars. Dinas Pinellas with the catch, and the Cougars are trying to get back in business with 1:49 to go in the 3rd. So 35-23, extra point coming up. So it'll be the Cougars, look like they're going to go for 2 here. To try to make this then a 10-point deficit. That is what they're going to do. 3 receivers bunched to the right, 1 to the left. Bodette over the middle, and it is intercepted. And Chase Foreman will take the knee in the end zone. That's his 2nd pick of the day. This one on a 2-point conversion, though, so it fails for Concordia, and the score will stay at 35-23. So the Cougars now trying to get a defensive stance here. Again, it's only a 12-point ball game. So Hayes now out to kick this one away. And you've got back deep, you have number 81 in Tomaszewski, and also back there in Oscar Sanchez, as Hayes will kick this one away from the near hash at the 35. Wind really starting to pick up here, so this one not in the favor of Hayes as the ball falls off the tee. Falls off again, they'll need somebody to hold the ball on the tee. And this one does stay on. Hayes will kick this one away to the near side. Picking this one up is Sanchez, right ahead of the 15, and he'll be just short of the 25-yard line. That's where he'll be met. So first down and 10 for the Spartans at the 25-yard line, or 24, excuse me. 3 receivers line up to the left. Nobody up to the right. Bailey to the right hip of Zimbelman. Now switches to the left hip as Zimmerman throws to the left side. Pass is caught to Starks. Gets a block, spins around for a first down to the 35-yard line. So a new set of downs here for the Spartans and a officials timeout at the moment. As now we have yet another injured Cougar down on the field. Is this one right where the tackle had been made? So first down and 10 coming up here for Aurora at their own 35. 1:33 to play in the third as the injury bug really biting the side of the Cougars. As down on the field is Kelly Christian, the junior defensive back from McDonough, Georgia. As they appear to be looking at his left leg at the moment. Again today for Concordia on the stats side, Griffin Bodette 20 of 35, 2 touchdowns and an interception for 233 yards. Eric Hoff 5 catches, 90 yards and a touchdown. Dooley 7 catches, 89 yards. Pinellas 3 catches, 33 yards and a score. Mentioned Lance Muis, who took an unfortunate injury that needed the ambulance to come to the side of the field along with the stretcher. 23 carries, 106 yards. Did eclipse 1,000 yards on the season, though. And Taylor Martin's in his spot, 2 carries, 6 yards today. Griffin Bodette, the starting quarterback, also has 9 carries for 22 net yards. So the medical staff out attending to the injured Concordia defensive back. Also some of the members from Aurora assisting out as well. 35-23 our score. We'll look at the Aurora stats here now as Zimbelman 14 of 18 for 198 yards and 3 touchdowns thrown here today. And the receiving core led by Danny Logarato, 4 catches, 86 yards, 2 touchdowns. And the card has come out once again, and you just really feel now for Concordia that the injuries have piled up in a way that you just don't want to see. You know, when you see a player hobble off, that's one thing, but when you need to have the card come out, from the team card come out not once but twice, it is something that just really kind of aches at your heart and really drains you out emotionally. Getting back to the stats I mentioned for Aurora, 3 catches, 48 yards and a touchdown for Emilio Starks. 2 catches, 38 yards for Colton Jewell. And in terms of the running game, Connor Olson, 10 carries, 49 yards. Bailey, 7 carries for 42. And 2 rushing touchdowns today have come from 2 different quarterbacks. Zimmelman, 7 carries, 17 yards, and a touchdown, which was a 7-yard run. And then the freshman backup in Halen Miller, 1 run for 5 yards. That was a touchdown. And is being helped up now to the card and getting put in the left cast is Kelly Christian, as he'll get a nice round of applause. So unfortunately, that's 2 players that have now had to leave the game for Concordia via the medical cart and the medical stretcher. So as they let the cart come off the field, we'll get play underway momentarily. First and 10 for the Spartans at the 35-yard line, up by 12 with 93 seconds remaining in this third quarter. And now we can get play back underway.
First and 10 at their own 35.
Three receivers out right, one to the left, as this one on the carry up the middle was Bailey. Gain of a few, as bringing him down there for Concordia was Thaddeus Daniel, the senior linebacker from Bellwood, Illinois. So only a gain of one as we have under a minute to play in the third. Three receivers out right, Bailey at the right hip of Zimbelman. Low snap. Zimbelman throws to his right. He was hit as he threw it. It falls incomplete as getting the pressure there for Concordia was number 57, Jason Duran, the sophomore from Portage, Indiana. That forces a third down with 46 seconds remaining here in the third quarter. So third down and 9. Big chance here for the Cougars defensively to make a big stop and get their ball back to the offense. It's only a 12-point game, still plenty of time to go here. Three receivers out right to the left. Throw to the left side is incomplete. Through the hands of Colton Jewell, it's fourth down. So fourth down, the return team will come on out. Alvarez out there along with Beragon. Punting this one away will be Ryan Basden, the senior punter. Ball to the far hash as a bit of a higher snap and a booming kick down the far side of the field. It takes a Spartans bounce, and picking it up and immediately going out of bounds there was Alvarez. And that is where the Cougars will start their drive with 35 seconds to play here in this third quarter. So the ball with the far hash, Bodette in the offense back out there. And Taylor Martin's the running back in the spot of Lance Moise, who got carted off the field due to a severe injury. Again, we wish Lance nothing but the best. Three receivers out left, one to the right. As Bodette throws over the middle, pass is caught. Pinellas ahead of the 30-yard line, going to be just short of the first down. Brings up second and short. Ball at the 31. Gain of 9 on the catch and run. Same formation again. Bodette will run it himself for the first down and more towards the 40 is where he gives himself up. Clock will continue to wind. And that will do it for the end of the third quarter. Cougars trying to move the ball here as we're about to begin the fourth quarter of play. 35-23, your Cougars trail by 12 here on the Concordia Cougar Sports Network. I'm Ryan Fay with you here on the call for today's action.
They won 2 games there versus Sportmore and Texas Lutheran and finished at 40.
And again, the Cougars after today will be once again home here next Saturday for a 1 o'clock kickoff when they welcome in Eureka College to town. And for Aurora after today, they will face another Concordia team, but this time up at Concordia, Wisconsin. And they'll be at home next Saturday out in Montgomery for a 1 p.m. kickoff. And again, kickoff next week here at Concordia for 1 o'clock. We'll have it right for you here on the Concordia Cougars Network. Again, today kickoff was set for 2:15. We go back to the normal 1 o'clock kickoff for the following games going forward. The 13th we mentioned against Eureka, the 27th against Rockford, and then November 10th against Benedictine. All games are Saturday. Now, the one against Benedictine, though, is a 12 noon kickoff. So, got a couple 1 o'clock games, then we finish it off with a noon start. So the Cougars baseball team out on the field right now that you see. Team that has gone to back-to-back College World Series. And we mentioned and we talked to head coach Mike Stosky of the Cougars back earlier in this third quarter. And as we get the fourth quarter underway, baseball team going together for a quick photo now.
Second down from the 40.
So second down off the no gain. Cougars going left to right offensively. Spartans will be going right to left once they get the ball. Two receivers each side on the second down. Odette throws over the middle. Pass is caught. A low catch made for a first down by Corey Dooley.
First down, Cougars.
So for Corey Dooley here today, that's his 8th catch, clipsing over 90 yards and some change. As tripping his way ahead of the 40-yard line is Bodette. Off a nice first down run and brings up second and manageable. Second and a couple. If the Cougars can score here, we're back down to a one-score game. Two receivers left, one right, two backs in the backfield. As Bodette's going to keep it, faces the pressure. He's got to scramble to his right. He looks downfield. He keeps it himself and gets the first down. Good adjustment there from the sophomore quarterback to keep his eyes downfield and then eventually just take it with the legs and give his team a new set of downs.
First down for the Cougars at the 33-yard line.
Three receivers out left, one to the right. Martin's in the backfield, and he's going to get the carry. On first down, Martin's ahead of the 30. Gain of about 5 or 6 to bring up second down. Ball at the 28-yard line. Two receivers each side. Martin's at the left hip of Bodette. Snap, and it's Dooley with the catch. And doesn't get much out of it, maybe a yard. Brings up third down. Crowd getting back into it here at Concordia Stadium. Third down and 4 at the 27. Two receivers each side. Martins goes out in motion. Bodette. Dooley makes the catch ahead of the 25, and that should be enough for a first down. And it is. First down, Cougars. Dooley now over 100 yards on the day. Tempo picking up here for this Cougars offense as Martin's going to get the carry to the right side, and he gets taken down ahead of the 20. Penalty flags come out towards the tackle box, and the initial call looks like it's going to be holding against Concordia.
Holding. Offense number 66. Repeat the down.
So the holding there will go against Aaron Finkel, the sophomore from Reedsburg, Wisconsin. So they replay the down, they'll accept the yardage out of it. Two receivers left, one to the right. Martins is going to get the carry to the left side, and he is tripped up in the backfield. Couldn't get to the outside, as that is Casey Dykiss, number 47, the junior linebacker from Wonder Lake, Illinois. Brings up second and long.
Offense number 3. 10-yard penalty, previous stop, keep it down.
And another holding call against Concordia. That's on Eric Hoff, who had a big 39-yard touchdown catch back in the first half. Three receivers out right, one to the left. Martin's at the right hip of Bodette. On 1st and 30, throw over the middle is caught into a tight window. It's Alvarez with the catch, staying on his feet, trying to go to the near side. He's taken down just ahead of the 45. And what looked like when he had a good positive gain, he tried to make more out of it, but he actually lost a couple out of it. Now it's 2nd down, back at the 44. They need to get all the way to the Spartans' 13-yard line to convert this. 2nd and just over 30 to go. The receivers left, one right. Bodette is going to step up and throw downfield for the freshman Pinellas. Oh, and he juggled it and it falls incomplete. He got through a window and had an opportunity. Bodette laid it there nicely, just Pinellas couldn't bring it in. Now it's 3rd down. Pinellas will come off now, as Robert Dominguez, the sophomore, will come on in. Three receivers left, one right. Martin's at the right hip. Bodette. Quick throw to the right is dropped. Eric Hoff with the drop. 4th down, punting unit on out for the Cougars. And just when he thought this offense was going to try to create something there, a couple of drop passes and some bad penalties forced the Cougars to punt. Brett Kruger to kick this one away, as back deep is Tomaszewski and Logorado. The returners stand back at about their own 10. A high punt to the near side goes out of bounds. And we'll see where they spot it. And they have it at the 25-yard line. 11:09 to play in regulation, 35-23. Spartans looking for their first win here in 2018.
Reminder that Cougar-Palooza, Concordia's homecoming carnival, will continue after the game until 6 p.m. Wristbands are free for CUC students, available for purchase by alumni, friends, and guests. Enjoy.
So the ball at the 29, 11:09 to play in the 4th. Two receivers out right, one to the left. Bailey at the right hip of Zimbelman. Man goes in motion. Snap to Bailey. Gets ahead of the 25, takes a big hit. Gets a gain of maybe 1 for 2nd down. Getting the initial hit there for the Cougars was Ryan Murray, the sophomore defensive lineman, 5'11", 250 pounds from Plainfield, Illinois. Product of Plainfield South High School. A little over an hour away from here. 2nd and 9. Clock continuing to run under 11 minutes to go. Same formation again. As Zimbelman drops, throws to his right side. Pass is caught for a 1st down. Just ahead of the 35 is Sean Mullen, the senior wide receiver. And they'll move the chains. Two receivers out to the left, one to the right. Another low snap as Zimbelman throws to the left side, and it is caught at the 40. And getting a couple extra out of it is Colton Jewell, the junior, as he fell forward for a gain of about 7 yards. Under 10 minutes to play. Again, the ball being spread around quite a bit here. 6 different targets here today from Zimbelman. And a ground ball snap picked up from Zimbelman, and Bailey's going to get the carry to the far side past the 50. And he goes into Cougars territory at the 45 for a 1st down. Spartans seeming to just move the ball at will here with the running game as we get into the late stages of this contest this afternoon. Again, overcast skies here today. The rain has stayed away, but it is cool and breezy. Zimbelman will give this one to Bailey up the middle. Ahead of the 40 to the 35, he breaks off a few more tackles for yet another Aurora first down. Tyron Bailey has given the relief for Olsen, who has 11 carries and 48 yards today. Bailey will now surpass him in the yardage category. Same formation again as before. Now at the left hip is Oscar Sanchez, the freshman. And he is going to get the carry, and Sanchez up the middle ahead of the 20. And a flag comes out. Going to be just short of the downage mark. We'll get the call in a moment. But it looks like this one's coming back and maybe a hold against the Spartans. And it is going to be a hold against the Spartans. It'll be a spot foul from where it occurred, so that's where they'll back it up to. So the ball now back right after the 35-yard line with under 8.5 to play here in regulation. Bailey now back in at running back. He moves to the right hip now in motion. He's going to get the carry now to the left side. Looks to the edge and doesn't go anywhere with it. So a nice stop there by Concordia defensively. Some words being exchanged back on the other side of the field. That's number 47 for Concordia in Rodolfo Payan. And also kind of getting mixed up there was one of the offensive linemen. It looked like that was number 75 and Grant Palmer that were exchanging some pleasantries after the play and away from where the ball was going. No penalty flags issued about it. We'll continue on. Second and long with the ball at the 39-yard line. Zimbelman, quick toss to the left for Bailey, and Bailey gets ahead of the 30-yard line, and that's where he's chased out of bounds by Demetrius Rufus, the junior defensive back from North Lauderdale, Florida. Still brings up third down and long for the Spartans.
Third down and 11 for the Spartans. Ball is at the 20.
Three receivers will line up to the right side, two to the left. Zimmerman all alone in the backfield. 10 seconds on the play clock and counting. Now down to 2, and a timeout called by Aurora. Play clock was winding down. And for the Spartans, that is their second timeout of the half used. They have one remaining. Concordia still has all three of theirs. We exactly have 7 minutes to play here in the fourth. It's been the Griffin Bodette show here today for Concordia, as getting the main portion of the starts has been the freshman Jordan Sepulveda, but he has not seen the football field here today. Sepulveda last week was 8 of 18 for 72 yards in that 61-28 loss at Lakeland. While Bodette, who's had all the action at quarterback today, last week was 5 of 14, 34 yards and an interception, and he was sacked 4 times. Meanwhile, his numbers today, 25 of 43, 259 yards and 2 touchdowns. Of course, those numbers being a little more inflated with the injury to Lance Moise, who got carted off the field due to an injury. Not a terrible day throwing the football. He has yet to be sacked officially, so needless to say, the offensive line has done a much better job here this week. As we get back to play, 3rd down and 11. 3 receivers right, 1 to the left. Bailey at the right hip of Zimbelman. Zimbelman to his right, runs out of room. He's sacked. Gustavo Alba, the sophomore from El Paso, Texas, forces a 4th down. So a big stop there. Clock will still run. Still some time here for Concordia to try to rally. But they're going to want to do it in a quicker manner, though. As you've got Beragon and Alvarez back deep. And Baston to punt. Punt to the far side. And a return will be attempted down the far sideline. And Beragon gets ahead towards the 20. 6 minutes to play. Concordia down by 12. Can they muster some offense here and go 80 yards to try to get within 1 score? The wind with Concordia here. Wind coming out of the north-northwest direction at a considerable breeze. 3 receivers out to the right, 2 to the left. Bodette rolls to his right, gets away from a defender, sets his feet, he's got to run again, and he throws this one to the near sideline and out of bounds, incomplete. 2nd down. And Griffin Bodette took a hit after he threw it, and he's slow to get up. Yet another injury to this Cougars team. And now it's their starting quarterback, Griffin Bodette, for today. Jordan Sepulveda warming up on the sidelines now. So both these, Sepulveda and Bodette, who split time last week, Bodette has gotten over 3.5 quarters of the reps today, and it looks like the freshman Sepulveda is going to have to come out with 5:50 to go and try to muster a rally for the Cougars down by 2 scores. Sepulveda, the freshman from Lake Worth, Florida. His numbers on the season, he's 26 of 51, completing 51% of his passes, 245 yards, 3 touchdowns. And in terms of running, he can do that as well. He's got 125 net rushing yards, along with 2 rushing touchdowns so far this season. As Bodette's day, mentioned 25 of 44, 259 on through the air. His longest was a 39-yard touchdown pass that went to Eric Hoff. So it will be Sepulveda to take the helm under center as they appear to look at the right knee of the sophomore Griffin Bodette. Bodette, the sophomore from St. Joseph, Michigan, who coming into action today, we mentioned him splitting time with Sepulveda for most of the snaps. 28 of 58, 244 yards and a touchdown pass. He also has rushed for 55. I should say he's only rushed for 19 yards, 74 total yards, but the net yardage is at 19. So Sepulveda back out now as quarterback. He will see the field indeed here today. And as Bodette gets assisted off to the sideline. 2 receivers out to the right, 1 to the left. As Sepulveda will hand this one off to Martins, who runs up the middle towards the 25-yard line. Gains a few.
Now quarterback for the Cougars, number 12, Jordan Sepulveda.
So Sepulveda at the helm at quarterback. If you're just joining us, Bodette, the starter, just got injured. Looking like the right leg was the injury. 3rd down and about 7 to go as Sepulveda throws quickly to his right. Martins makes the catch. And this one to the near sidelines, he will go. It is enough for a Cougars first down. And Martins did step out of bounds as well. 5:15 to go. 35-23 Spartans. Three receivers out to the near right, one out to the far left. Martins to the right hip of Sepulveda. And Martins is going to get the handoff, and he goes nowhere. Meeting him right at about the line of scrimmage was Curtis Cheyenne, who's had quite a decent day on the line for the Spartans defensively. We'll get a look at his numbers in a moment. That'll be his 5th tackle for the afternoon, his 2nd tackle for a loss. So 2nd and 11. 2 receivers each side. Sepulveda to his right. Pass is caught by Hoff at the 35. Spins around a defender. Nice move there. Ahead towards the 45-yard line, and a first down for Concordia. A late flag comes out. We'll see what they get it on. It looks like this could be unsportsmanlike, but we'll see who they call it on. As this can make or break the drive right here with the Cougars trying to rally back here late in the 4th.
Dead ball. No.
And the unsportsmanlike conduct is going to go against
Down.
Concordia. Didn't hear the number. The referee's mic kind of getting caught up in the wind, but either way, a shot themselves in the foot penalty by the Cougars, and that's not what you want with 4:23 to go. Ball now goes all the way back to the 29-yard line, so negate that nice move there that you saw from Eric Hoff. So now the wait for the markers to come on back as well. So ball now back at the 29. It's first down. Clock will continue to wind. 3 receivers out left, 1 to the right. Sepulveda will run it himself, has a hold of the left side, and gives himself up right at the 40. The Cougars get that first down right back, and that'll move the chains.
First down at the 40-yard line for the Cougars.
So once again, a new set of downs. As Sepulveda off the snap, pass is caught. That's Dooley ahead of the 50 for a first down, and out of bounds he goes. Dooley with his 11th catch today. Well over the 100-yard mark in receiving yards. It looks like we get a lineman sub now, as coming on off is number 54, Injustice Silvera, and in his spot is Luke Busser, number 50. First and 10 at the Spartans 45, 3 receivers out left. Sepulveda to his right. He's going to throw. It's incomplete, though. Second down now at the 45 off the incompletion. Martins, again, the running back. In for the injured Lance Moyes, who just joined us, had a horrific injury back in the 3rd quarter. And the stretcher to come out, unfortunately, for him. As 3 wide receivers left, 1 right. Sepulveda, the new quarterback, in. Off of the injury from Griffin Bodette earlier on this drive, as Hoff is met in the backfield off after the catch. And it's 3rd and long for the Cougars. Same formation again. 3rd down and 11 as we approach 3 minutes to go. Sepulveda steps up, throws, passes caught. That's Hoff. First down, just short of the 30.
Down to the 31-yard line. Move those chains again. First down for the Cougars.
Quick tempo offense here from the freshman Sepulveda in at quarterback, replacing the injured Griffin Bodette, who can only watch from the medical table on the sidelines right now as Martins gets the run ahead for a few for second down. 2.5 to go. Cougars still have all 3 of their timeouts. They want to try to preserve those for perhaps when they're on defense if they can get a score here. Either way, they'd use them on defense nevertheless of what happens on this drive. Sepulveda looks downfield, quickly tossed to the right, and that's Hoff again, ahead of the 25, and that is going to be enough for a first down, just short of the 20. So now the Cougars in red zone territory, down by 12. A low snap. Sepulveda keeps it. First and goal. See where they spot it, and looks like he's going to be just short. So it's marked that as a run of 9. Sepulveda to Martins, who bounces off a few blockers and is taken down in the backfield. And a horse collar call is what the Cougars wanted, and that's what they're gonna get. That's Curtis Cheyone. We talked about having a good day on the line for the Spartans, and he may have just cost his team a
horse collar tackle. Defense number 99.
And there it is. And that'll be half the distance as well. So with just under 100 seconds to go, we are not done here yet at Concordia Stadium. So first and goal now at the 7. Martins will get the run, and Martins will get the touchdown. (35-29), 1:31 to go. Oh, and a holding call, a flag that came out late. So just when you thought that horse collar tackle that went against Curtis Cheyone was going to be a touchdown for the Cougars off that next run, a holding brings this one back. Wow. So first and goal now back at the 15-yard line. 2 receivers each side. Sepulveda, far side, end zone, overthrown, incomplete. Makes it second down and goal. Back at the 15, 1:22 on the clock. So back at the line. Down by 12. The Cougars need an answer, and they need one fast. Sepulveda will keep it himself. Gets a block up the middle in towards the 5-yard line, and a nice run there from the freshman. Clock's going to still run, though. And now this time a timeout has been called, and it's the Cougars that call it. That is their first timeout. They have 2 remaining.
Please reset the game clock to 1:11.
And they'll put 2 seconds more back on the clock. 1:11 it'll be. Third and goal now from the 4. And a big third down coming up as the Cougars are trying to hold on to any last slim chances to get back into it. Down by 2 scores. 35-23 is where we stand. Thanks for joining us here on the Concordia Cougars Network for homecoming weekend. I'm Ryan Fahey with you here from Concordia Stadium. Again, I want to thank the great production and crew from CJ Seltner and company here. Got a chance back in the third quarter to speak to baseball coach Mike Stowski for quite a bit of that third quarter. Had some great insight on how his team has been so successful the last couple of seasons, going to the College World Series in back-to-back years. Along with some of the alumni that have helped lead the way to them being successful and to the spots they are today. And the new field that's going to be put in for 2019. So you see it off in the background. Well, remember it now before Roger Bosserton, the sod father from the White Sox organization, will come on in and tear it up and make it look even better than it already is. 2 backs in the backfield, 2 receivers out left, 1 to the right. Do or die time for the Cougars. Sepulveda, quick toss. It's off to the right side. Gets away from 2 tacklers. Eric Huff. He's got the moves, and he's got the touchdown. His second of the day, 35-29, 1:05 to go. His second touchdown catch of the day puts him at 10 catches for 129 yards and 2 touchdowns. Extra point coming up now from Orlando Hayes to try to make this a 5-point score. As they were waiting for the holder to come out, and Kayla, looked like that was, they were waiting for Robert Dominguez to come on out there. Here's the snap, the hold, and the kick. It is up, and it is good. 35-30. Not done yet here at Concordia Stadium on homecoming weekend. So now for the kickoff, it's up to Orlando Hayes. Cougars only have 2 timeouts. We'll see how they approach this kickoff here, that being Concordia. They tried one to begin the second half. It was like a high pop-up squib kick style that was fair caught by Sam Brunoholer. We'll see if they try for that again or they go with the traditional onside kick route. Hayes will kick it from his own 35, kicking it left to right. You have to imagine the lead receiving core is going to be out there. You got Logorado along with Sean Mullen at the front end, along with Matt Pisecki. Cam Ryan also out there, and Tyron Bailey. The second unit is about 5 yards behind, and the only one back deep. Actually, I should say Tyron Bailey's the one back deep. Emilio Starks is on the far side of the field at the front line. Hayes to kick this. You got 10 guys bunched up from the 10-yard mark out. We'll see what Hayes can try to pull off here. He goes to the left. Gets a bounce that he wanted, but it falls right into the lap of the Spartans and Emilio Starks. And the clock is still running, and I think that's what the issue appears to be. So it looks like they'll put some time back on the clock here. As that one, Hayes got the bounce he wanted, but right place, right time was Emilio Starks. So 1 minute on the clock. First and 10 at the 50.
Please reset the game clock to 1:04.
They'll put 1:04 on the clock. Two receivers left, one to the right. I should say two out to the right, I beg your pardon. Ball in midfield. Man comes in motion, low snap, and Zimmerman keeps it himself, and an immediate timeout call with 59 seconds to go. That's the Cougars' second timeout. Brings up second down. Only a gain of maybe 1.5 on that one. Each team now down to one timeout remaining. For what looked like Aurora having most of control here throughout the afternoon, the Cougars have slowly clawed their way back into this and have been playing catch-up all afternoon long. And with 59 seconds, they trail by 5, so a touchdown would essentially win it if you're Concordia. You just need to get the ball back. Ball at the 49 where they officially mark it. So what'll happen is, if assuming Concordia can get a stop here, they'll call another timeout. Then just have to make sure they can get a stop and have limited time left. As the clock, Aurora would wind down as much as possible. Bailey on the run to the far side. It's going to be a first down. And that is going to do it. It'll move the chains. And the Spartans of Aurora University are on their way to their first win of 2018. And the Cougars look like they'll call their final timeout, and they do. A late effort falling short here today. Cougars now out of timeouts, and the victory celebration and formation will be in effect for the Spartans after this timeout. Aurora here today, led by the efficient quarterback play of Gavin Zimbelman. 17 of 22, 188 yards, 3 touchdown passes on the day. He also has a rushing touchdown as well. Danny Logarato, 4 catches, 86 yards, 2 touchdowns. Emilio Starks, 3 catches, 48 yards, and a score. On the ground, Connor Olson with 11 carries, 46 yards. Tyron Bailey, 10 carries for 46. And for Concordia, leading the rally late was Jordan Sepulveda, who came in the 4th for the injured Griffin Bodette. Bodette on the day, 25 of 44, 259 yards, 2 touchdowns, and a pick. Sepulveda, 7 of 9, 62 yards, and a touchdown. And also getting a couple throws in sporadic plays was Isaiah Alvarez, 1 for 3, 16 yards. As the Cougars are going to fall to 1-4 overall, winless in conference play at 0-2, while the Spartans of Aurora University will improve to 1-4 overall and 1-1 in Northern Athletics Collegiate Conference play. For the Spartans, as they'll take one more knee and that'll do it, they will head back home next Saturday to take on Concordia, Wisconsin for a 1 o'clock kickoff. And meanwhile, for your Cougars, they'll be back at it here at home on Saturday to try to get their first conference win of the season against Eureka College. And that'll be for a 1 p.m. kickoff, and we'll have that for you here on the Concordia Cougars Network. That does it here on homecoming weekend. Here at Concordia Stadium, the Cougars fall to the visiting Aurora University Spartans by the score of 35-30. The ball spread around a bit today for Aurora. We mentioned the efficient play of Zimbelman. Logarato, 4 catches, 86 yards. Starks, 3 catches for 48. Colton Jewell, 3 catches for 30. As both teams shake hands at midfield. Again, want to give a thank you to head baseball coach and Mike Stowski, who joined me in the booth here in the 3rd quarter to talk some Concordia Cougars baseball about the recent success of the last couple of years and looking ahead to the new field that they're going to have for 2019 and beyond. Also want to give a great congratulations to the Hall of Fame inductees Eric Boucher,